Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, yes.
Am I recording?
Uh,
Am I recording?
am I on? Are we on?
Turn my headphones up. Turn them
What's
shits
going on,
up.
ladies and gentlemen? Hey, come on in. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we are back. We live. Tuesday, April the 29th. Man, so much has gone on since the last time we got an opportunity to come to you live. This is the craziest thing is I think we was ready about a week ago, but due to inclement weather and collusion, which we will get into later, we were held back by the man. That's what happened. We was all held back by the man all weekend long. They didn't want us to do a show, so now we're gonna do it on our regular schedule Tuesday. What's going on, y'all? You know what it is, man. It's your boy K Rich, your Bubba's #1 draft pick, and we are live right here on the Rec Room as usual. And it's crazy because the whole gang is here, right? We got guests on top of guests for this show. We got a special guest who will be with us shortly. We got our two football analysts to join us to talk about the draft. We got Uncle Scott Cole, who may be dropping in to talk about bets and betting and what it means to him to have won bets that involve the playoffs. We've got so much going on the show, and it's crazy because I don't know how we did it, but I think this is gonna be one of our best shows. I honestly do. I feel it in the air. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, guys, Bobby G, you all right? You good? I know you
Hey,
feel.
I'm good.
I'm about to say, you feeling the land right now? We're gonna talk about that a little later, right?
It's getting hot in here unless you live in Miami.
Right. Oh, so we yeah. Jay, man, Jay, what I'm saying, you joining us posthumously from your side of the town in the NBA land, but I'm glad you're here. We couldn't do it without you, bro. We couldn't do it without you. But you know what? We're gonna get right into it. Uh Earlier this weekend, somebody made a prank phone call. And we're not gonna we're not necessarily gonna point any fingers at people's sons who work on coaching staffs. No. But it got us to thinking, man, what's the most memorable prank call that you ever made? And when I say the most memorable prank phone call you ever made, I mean it could be funny, it could have been scary. We could have, maybe hoodwinked somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the most memorable prank call that you ever made? Bobby G, man, you gotta hit us off with
Uh, I don't know if it counts as a call, but I'm gonna count it as one.
one. Right.
Where I used to live, I lived on a main street. So across the street from my house, it was a bus stop, and there was a giant telephone pole. On this telephone pole, there was one of those fire joints, fire alarm, like at school.
The red one.
Yeah, the red one. You pull the lever, and so one day I just got it, felt it in my heart that the Lord was telling me we need to see if this communication system works. Like if my house goes up and I pull this lever, are they really going to respond? So
Are they really coming?
yeah, so I got a newspaper and wrap my hand up in the newspaper because that thing be having ink on it and spray ink. So you know, uh, went around and we went on here, pulled the lever, and we jetted back across the street and hid in the bushes. And it's sure enough, man. About 5 to 8 minutes later, yeah, they pulled up strong. So it worked, and the most importantly, I did not get in trouble. So that's the moral of the story. So,
Wow. Yeah. Shout out to the innovation right there where you took
yeah,
the paper top. What did you say? The newspaper?
yeah. You wrap your hand up in newspaper so the ink don't get on your hand. And you got to do it down just in case it sprays because they be having some on that spray. So
Okay.
you wrap it down there. Yeah.
So this sounds like this could also work on a windshield or window of some sort. You want to leave no fingerprints.
I mean, I don't know about all that, but yeah.
Yo, Jay, man, I know you got one, man. A memorable prank call. What you got?
Bobby, can I? Because I mean, look.
I'm gonna go dark, and you can commit all the crimes you would like to.
All right, go ahead. All right. So this is crazy, right? Because I found out what happened. Like, man, let's see, about 13 years later. actually.
Wow.
I said 3 when we talked about it. It was actually 13 years later.
Wow.
I found out about this. And basically, a long time ago, when I was young, I was with a group of guys, and we wanted some
This group
pizza.
of guys got him.
Uh, dude, you just said you gonna go dark. What that mean? What's that mean? I'm just saying. All right. So I just wanted the pizza. That's all I wanted. And like 13 years later, I got the pizza, but like 13 years later, I found out like not only did I get my pizza, like the dude was like held captive for like 3 days. So
Wow.
uh that turned out to be surprising to find out, this guy was actually like, yeah, hostage. But anyway, yeah,
Wow.
Bobby, I'm done.
Oh man. Yeah. We just go fill in the blanks on that story. You got pizza. Somebody was held captive,
I
but you're
never
okay.
saw anything. I got
We
pizza.
didn't.
I was like, yo, let me know when y'all get the pizza. And the guy, because they was like, go get the pizza, shut the door, and we was going to somewhere that wasn't like an actual home. It wasn't like livable. Nobody lived there.
The
So
bando.
we was
Bando.
gonna, yeah. So we was gonna, but I wasn't around for the action. But the
Mm.
pizza was there. I just took my pizza. I took a box and I left, not knowing. All right, we done. We done though. But yeah,
Jay, all we know is Jay got a pizza
I
and
got my
he's eating.
pizza and
That's
I
all
had
we know.
nothing. Yeah,
Nothing to do with nothing else.
it was a
Yeah,
sad
yeah. So
situation though. I made
I
it. He made it home. He made it home and everything.
he made it
All right,
home.
but he had a story. He had a hell of a story.
Shout
That's crazy. I had nothing to
out
do with
to
the
the
other part.
pizza
Yeah.
man. Should be on point. Be on point if you are the pizza man. Yeah.
Where's
So,
it from? Domino's, Pizza Hut,
oh,
Papa John's. We're local.
oh
Where
man.
are we from?
Don't remember, Bobby.
Yeah. Wow. We just go in the script pizza joint. There we go. And then for me, like I had one. So I used to have a little crush on a girl, back in the day or whatever. You know how it goes. And this is when three-way calling was cool. You would call somebody and then they would pick up, and you would hit the button, click, then you would call somebody else, the other person would pick up the phone, and then you hit the button again, click, and then everybody's on the phone, right? So my friend at the time, we was all cool. We was buddy buddy, ha ha. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I heard she taking so and so to the dance at so and so middle school. And it's not even the middle school we go to. How's she going to that dance? So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play on her phone, and you know what I'm saying. I got my other friend who is now into the same sex. We don't want to get into that, but she cool. She good people. She's always been good people for all my
What?
whole entire life. She's been good people.
Oh man.
And I said, man, we're gonna call this person and we're gonna see if she can get on the phone because I know she's not, she's not home. So I called, I hit the three-way, got my friend who I'm still cool with on the phone, and then unknowingly to me, I was taking too long, and then I clicked over, and her voicemail was on. Back in the day, you got a real voicemail machine with a tape. You know what I'm saying? And she had one of those. And me and my friend was cackling and talking and kikiing. And her mama picked up the phone. She was like, "Now this is something that grown people do. You on the phone with another girl on I was like, "Oh man." And yeah, long story short, I had to go apologize to her and her mom at the funeral home because that's where her mother worked. If you know, yeah, if you know, you know. I had to go apologize to her and her mama at the funeral home one day because I had made a fool of myself. But it was cool though, because in the end,
Boy,
I did get to go to the dance
that
with her.
was about worse than my story because
Yeah,
you
I did.
definitely pinpointed yourself on that one. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I was already gonna play on the phone like that anyway. It was gonna be like that, but I didn't know her mama was gonna hear it. So, in the end, man, you know what time it is, man. We might as well
It's better than kidnapping. It was worse than
Nah,
kidnapping.
Yeah.
look,
We didn't even use that word, Bobby. We didn't use that word. We didn't even use
Allegedly.
the word. Allegedly. Allegedly. Speaking of which, man, you know what the time it is, man. We got the guests in the building. We got some guys coming through. The whole team is actually going to be pulling up shortly. I can't wait for them to get into it. But you know what you got to do, man? First things first, we got to hit that intro, dog.
This is Rec Room Sports. Olympians carrying the torch, going where they don't go. We ain't lost. From the optics to the topics, we got this with synopsis. Think outside the boxes like Jay on the mic or your boy K Witt. Joe is my coach, T Sweat on the mix. All sports, even if you catch fish like Nate Diaz catches fists. You need to catch this episode, it's a can't miss. We go live and you should subscribe and X's and O's. We made our plan, yo.
Yeah, yes sir. We did it. Back again like we never left. Oh man, it is Tuesday, April the 29th. The gang is all here from Rec Room Sports. What's going on? And like always, man, we're going to run these streets until we get everybody in the building, but we got to do our intros, man. Of course, we got Cleveland's home, but Las Vegas is home right now. It's the People's Chat. Bobby G, man. Bobby, how you feeling, especially after this Cavs victory?
You know, I'm a little bit warmer than the people down in South Beach. Hey, you know, we put foot to you know what, and that's the end of it. And it's all due to Jay's hate. So shout out to Jay. Jay been hating on the Cavs all season, and we just use that as fuel for the fire.
Man, dang. I got to go to you now. Speaking of which, my dog, my brother from another mother, straight from the hometown. One time for JMIC. Jay, what's good, bro?
I'm going dark. Talking about basketball, you know, I wasn't in a good place to announce that, but as you see, I've officially gone dark on all basketball talk. Don't talk to me about nothing about your Cavs. I don't care. When they say an old-fashioned beatdown, well, guess what? That's an old-fashioned beatdown because back in the day, you lose to the number one seed. You were getting spanked by 40 or 50, and it was over by halftime. So yeah. Good to see the old NBA back.
Yeah, for real. Hey, that's been my mantra. And then, of course, y'all know me, man. It's your boy K, which I was number one draft pick. It is exciting to know that I have bought a second crock pot. Yes, sir. I bought a second crock pot, y'all. I had some beef ribs in there the other day. I found out a little recipe for some beef ribs. Got them real tender. Got some white rice, a little cabbage. Oh, it came out great. I'm telling you, while I'm on hiatus, which I'll talk about later, I'm gonna start doing cooking videos.
The boy light bill about to be sky high.
Right? You know what I'm saying? But once again, man, it's the crew from Rec Room Sports, and I'm excited today because we've got so much to get into, and we've got people to hang with us today. And I might as well bring our first guest on. You know how it goes, man. We are on social media. We are on Twitter. We are on X. We are on, well, not on X, but y'all know what I mean. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. And from time to time, we run into people who are like-minded, who post content that we are interested in, that we go, hey, let's check this out. You know what I'm saying? Bobby will check it out. Jay will check it out. Jay will tell me, hey, Whit, don't send it to me because I've already seen it. I'll be like, damn, my bad. I thought you didn't see it, so let me send it to you and make sure. But that's how we do, right? And we bumped into a cat who actually makes interesting content. He says he's been doing this for about 3 years, but he carries himself in a professional manner. So we're gonna go ahead, bring him onto the stage, man. K Pierce, Mr. K Pierce TV. What it do, bro?
Gentlemen, how we doing? Love the intro, by the way, man. Happy to be on as always, and happy y'all came across and decided to invite me based on the content. That's love.
Right. Hey, man. Now we appreciate you for making some time. We would have had the draft show, but we was all so heartbroken about several things that we will get into later. We were like, man, screw it. We ain't even gonna talk about the draft right now. We just gonna let 5 rounds play out and see exactly what happens. Speaking of 5 rounds, we got our guy Bo Crouch in the building. Bo will be on later to discuss the draft as well. He's our draft insider. One time for him. And then, of course, man, make sure y'all follow my guy, Mr. Pierce, on his social media platform. God dang, 13.2. Why? Boy, you got a lot of followers in it.
I appreciate y'all, man.
That boy good.
Yeah, man, check out his content, man. He's got plenty of videos, plenty of different ways of coming at sports, and we appreciate that. So make sure you check him out once again on IG. We are at K Pierce TV. Please go and follow him on your socials. Now, this is what we do, man, Kev. So, you ready to run? Because we're gonna let Jake go and come back in. We're gonna run a little 3-man weave. You ready for it?
I'm 100% ready. Let's go.
Awesome, man. So we're gonna start right at the top. We're gonna do some NBA, man. And recently, y'all know what time it is. The playoffs have been fully underway. We have been gaslit, so to speak, by teams on both coasts who seem to have old school beef. Yes. And I am excited to talk about it. Speaking of old school, as I look down here under us right now, I see one of our favorite featured guests who come in and tell us all about bets, Boston, and beans. One time for Uncle Scott Cope. Uncle Scott, welcome back.
Oh, Doc Rivers. Oh, Doc. Oh, I'm sorry. Doc Rivers did it again. Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate.
Oh,
so we will get into that. We will get into that one because we know somehow, some way the Bucks got to do some Buck-like things. But we're gonna start right at the top, man. We got 2 teams who did some brooms, got some brooms out, baby. I'm talking about got the boys out the way, and of course we're talking about Bobby's Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder, who of course seem to be at the top, respectively, of both conferences. Now that they have got the first rounds out of the way, and they have done it in exceptional fashions, fellas, are the Cavs and Thunder on a collision course? Like, can we just go ahead and chalk it up and say screw everybody else? Is it really about to happen with just these two?
How dare you disrespect the defending champion Boston Celtics in my presence? How dare you? This is how you guess that you just come on, and this was the opening segment. When I saw this on the rundown, I threw up in my mouth a little bit. How could you? Let's just start with the Cavs, right? So my Celtics are 2-2 against the Cavs this year. Lost one was without Jaylen Brown, and the other one, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown combined for 83 points, and the rest of the team decided to take the night off, only for the Cavs to win by like 3. So it takes injuries or acts of God for them to beat my Celtics, and y'all want me to believe they're going to go to the finals. What are we talking about, guys? What are we doing? That's how you come into the show, sir. They got a strike. They got some stripes to earn. Let's go to OKC now. Hold on.
Hold on.
Wait. You gotta give him a quick round of applause because I didn't even know he was going to jump in like that. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Come on, man.
That last point you made about, remember, we forgot the game started at 7. We didn't show up till 7:30. So remember, you were up 28-3. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Hey man, but with OKC, right? Well, with OKC. Here's my issue with OKC, and this is bitter Celtics fan talking. For years upon years in Boston, playoff failure, quote unquote, after playoff failure, and by failure I mean losing to teams that were better than us in the conference finals and losing to one of the 10 best players ever in the finals in Steph Curry. What a crime, right? All I hear is we're not going to take you seriously till you go to the finals. Meanwhile, OKC just won their first playoff series last year, and I'm supposed to believe that they're the 96 Bulls? What are we talking? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here, guys?
Well, man, see, and this is therein lies the rub where we are saturated by Oklahoma City's performances this year. Yes, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should be decorated as the MVP. I cannot lie about that. yes, Donovan Mitchell has been playing lights out this whole season, but I don't think that we're at a place where we can exclude not just the defending world champions, but there's a possibility that one of these teams in the West is going to wake up a sleeping giant, and we'll get into which one very shortly. There's only one
right now.
Let's go, Scott. Tell them what time it is.
So Oklahoma City is going to get a very flawed winner of Denver and the Clippers. Though both teams are very flawed. I think Oklahoma City could take them out at worst 5 games. The only team in the West I see doing anything against OKC is Minnesota. If Minnesota gets by the Lakers, which I think they will, I think they'll get by Golden State. Golden State's running out of gas right now, I think. They're not playing with as much energy as they were at the beginning of the playoffs at the end of the regular season. I think that's going to come back and get them. I think Minnesota's young, hungry. I think it's going to be Minnesota and OKC in the finals, and it's going to be a good final, good Western Conference Finals. So that's the only team in the West I think that can get them is Minnesota. Denver and the Clippers. Well, if you watch them play, they're 2 very flawed teams. There's a lot of holes with both of those teams. So I'm looking at Cleveland, Boston in the East, and I'm looking at Minnesota, OKC in the West. That's what I think is going to be the finals, the conference finals, and they're going to be 2 really good series. But again, the Knicks can't beat the Celtics. Anybody that wants to make an excuse that the Knicks can beat the Celtics, go right ahead. Put yourself in a good position. Put yourself at ease. Put your mind at ease. The Knicks can't beat the Celtics. They just can't.
You may have a point with that one, Bobby G. Man, as our resident Cavs fan, this is blasphemous. This is not.
It's not blasphemous. And like I'm not going to poo-poo on what Kevin said. The Celtics do deserve their respect as defending champion, but I'm also going to put it on the plate. I slightly disagree with Scott. Well, not really. I'm not going to say the Nuggets aren't flawed, but I do feel they deserve that respect. Didn't they hoist up a trophy not too long ago? And it's like people forget about that. Like, isn't Joker like literally either the best or second best player in the NBA right now? It's like people conveniently forget that fact when they have to go on the court. It's easy to say, oh, he should be the MVP every year, but then come playoff time, it's like people forget that they said he's the best. So I would give them a little bit more credence against OKC. I am with you. I feel that will more than likely be the Western Conference Final, or no, they would play each other in the second round, right?
Second round. Whoever wins Denver Clippers get OKC.
So I feel whoever comes out of the West will come out of that series. We put it like that. For sure. As far as both Cavs and OKC, it does kind of feel that way. Like they've been the 2 best teams in the NBA all season long. They were the first 2 teams in the playoffs to handle their business, and they did it the same way they dominated the regular season. They dominated the playoffs. Both teams have a 50-point win to their credit. Like, think of that.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 best teams in the league who are currently in the playoffs both have 50-point wins on their resumes already. We won our series by the most points, biggest point differential in the history of the NBA. If you look at Game 4, to go down there on the road and handle your business, if you take away all of our 2-point field goals and just count threes and free throws, we still win that game by 5 points. That is still crazy.
That's one hell of a stat.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Give away all our dunks and layups, and we still win by 5.
What did you do? Send food poisoning to the Miami Heat meals before the game or something? What the heck?
No.
Them boys put on a 1-2-3 Cancun performance. They was ready for the season to be over.
Where on earth an Eric Spoelstra team to just lay down like that last night? That's crazy. Man. I would never have guessed that would happen.
And this is exactly what I believe Bam Adebayo was alluding to. He was like, I want to see what the man with the silver hair is going to do.
Because that's all my attention.
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, Pat Riley put a tie on in the middle of the night when he heard that shit. Do you understand me? Because you gotta, we all understand the lore of Pat Riley. You know what I'm saying? But I can only imagine that the backlash from letting Jimmy Butler walk out the door. And when I say walk out the door, I don't mean any disrespect to Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins was a number one overall pick. Andrew Wiggins is a champion. Andrew Wiggins is also very well known to recently have had just a couple family issues creep up on him, which took him mentally out of the game, and he didn't play as well for Miami as I thought he would when he got there. But with all that being said, with this offseason is built to be a Miami-esque offseason. They're going to bust a move, they're going to bust ahead, and we're going to see exactly what they do. But still, just to stick to the subject matter, you know what I'm saying, of where it is right now, if we're talking about the Cavs in essence, there's very, very little any other team in my mind besides the Celtics can do to stop them. And don't get me wrong, Indiana is looking like gangbusters. You know what I mean? Indiana, I think Indiana is we'll talk about them a little later, but Indiana is one of the most slept on teams in the East right now, especially after putting out the Milwaukee Bucks, which we will get into a little later. But man, let me tell you, let's just not sleep on it. So Cavs and Thunder, I like that matchup, but it'll take a lot of other dominoes to fall into place for them to be the finals matchup. You know what I mean?
By the way, the Celtics were up 21 at the start of the fourth.
Look at that. Thank you, Uncle Scott.
Yeah.
They just put Orlando away.
I was trying to not interrupt, but like as y'all were talking, I'm watching my Celtics on the other screen go absolutely berserk and pull away in the third quarter. And y'all want me to believe there's a team better than my Boston Celtics. Stop it.
and as I sit here, I see that Jay is back. So we're going to bring Jay in. Jay, and oh, look at that. We are also going to bring in one of our other correspondents, one of our great friends here to the show. We got Adrian Perez in the building. Alan, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Tornado Allen? His nickname is Tornado Allen?
I mean, that's pretty much after what we're dealing with the last week or two. Tornado after tornado after tornado after tornado.
I was about to say, we're going with that Tornado Alley stuff, right? So, guys, thanks for coming in. That we were right here on the very first topic. Are the Cavs and Thunder on a collision course? We had Kev. Shout out to Kev. Give us his 10 piece about what's going on. In that same essence, fellas, Jay and Alan, are we in the same building, or are we thinking it's going to take some time? Something else has got to happen before they reach each other in the finals.
I mean, you still got Boston, right? You still got to deal with Boston in the East. So, it's the old adage, it's not over till the fat lady sings. Well, right now, the fat lady is in Boston right now, and she's warming up the pipes for the Orlando Magic. So, I
like this guy already.
Boston can definitely give Cleveland a challenge. As far as the West goes, the only team I'm really scared of, me being a Thunder fan, the only team I'm scared of right now is Minnesota, specifically Anthony Edwards. If especially with what he's done to shut down LeBron James and the Lakers so far, like, I don't want to see that guy. I don't. Minnesota was the hottest team in the West coming into the postseason. Like, literally clinched that 6th seed, and they're thinking, oh, no, what was it the media said? Oh, the Lakers got an easy path now because they had to play Minnesota. Well, I guess they forgot how good Anthony Edwards is. So, and it's unfortunate that we're going to get Lakers in 5 anyway, despite what many people think. It's just that, that he didn't specifically say they were going to lose in 5. So it still counts. It still counts. And I do think
house for game 1, by the way, Al, just so you know.
Because remember, this is also the same Minnesota team that took out Jokic in Denver last year too. So they have experience in taking good teams out of the postseason. So it would not shock me whatsoever if they not only did this to the Lakers, but did it to Golden State too. So that's the one team. That's the one team in the West that I would be like, if I would say it would go longer than a 5-6 game series, it would probably be against Minnesota.
Wow. Okay. It'd probably be against Minnesota. And Jay and I have been on the phone on a couple of these nights watching these West Coast games, man. Jay, man, I know you don't think it's just gonna go down like that.
I mean, seriously, I want what the people want. I wouldn't necessarily say that of course the NBA wants the Celtics. The NBA might want, the Timberwolves due to the ratings and how a certain player, say like Anthony Edwards is ascending, but or there. I want to say ascending because I think he still even be better than what he is. But anyway, yeah, I mean, when do we ever get what everybody wants or what it looks like? And I take it back to when we was waiting on Kobe LeBron for the finals, and it didn't turn out that way. Everybody wanted it. We even had a whole campaign, a Nike campaign for it. So my whole thing is that would be the most entertaining, I would think, right now. So as a collision course, that's what I wanted to be at least. But on the West, I would say there's a lot more ahead of the Thunder than I would say the Cavs. I think the Cavs are pretty much, this is like an invitational right now, a Eastern Conference invitational. But that's just how they made Miami look. So I mean, there are competitive teams out there. It's just that when you got the Knicks in the situation that they're in, and are they going to have enough gas to make it through? There are questions surrounding these Eastern Conference teams. So, but still a bit easier for the Cavs than it would be maybe for the Thunder. But yeah, that's what I want. Is it the collision course? I think so. That's because that's just what I want. That's all. But yeah, we'll see.
Hey, don't forget what the Eastern Conference Finals are named: the Boston Celtics Invitational. Haven't they been in it for the last 7 years?
Man, see, this is first of all, I said I was gonna go dark. You know what? I'm done. I'm going dark. All right.
All I would say
is
to
a bunch of playoff fans right now. While I'm just sitting here, I got nothing to say, man.
Man, bare the soul. I'm just saying, hey, Whit, just please go ahead and clip that.
Hey, at the very least,
that he said
the
he
NFC
wants
Championship
the
game.
Cavs to make the finals.
Wow.
Clip
okay.
That. Clip that, please.
I told you, man. We keep getting into this. You know why I hate the Cavs. I can't deny what's great.
See, that's the energy I want right there. No, keep saying that hate.
I got a thing for Midwest women, and then
We
that's
gonna-
it. And then
we gonna talk.
sorry,
Did I bring up something bad? Is that what happened?
We're gonna do that thing where we edit it. It's gonna be like, I want the Cavs to win. We're gonna edit that up real nice. I love Midwest Cavaliers to win. Yeah, we just gonna edit that up real nice, bro. Keeping it moving, y'all. The crazy idea is over the past weekend, we had some really tough finishes for two teams in particular. That being the Clippers, well, two games in particular, that being the Clippers and the Denver Nuggets, and then the Knicks and the Detroit Pistons. I personally got a chance to watch both of them, and I was stunned at how both teams took on adversity and somehow got a chance. Well, both games ended up having to go to the final seconds, right? So over the past weekend, you guys, let's think about it. Which last second loss from the past weekend hurts more? The Clippers losing to Denver, which was on a missed Jokic three, which turned into an alley-oop, which technically Jokic gets an assist for, or the Knicks against Detroit, where we got a foul that wasn't a foul that they got a chance to look back at. Which one do we think hurts the most, gentlemen? And I'll start with Uncle Scott since he's right there at the top.
I think the Clippers one hurts a lot more than the Knicks one. The Pistons recovered tonight. They beat the Knicks tonight. So they're going back for game 6 to Detroit. So I think you're going to find out in a couple hours. If the Clippers lose to Denver tonight, I think you're going to definitely say it's the Clippers more so than the Pistons. So that's where a dunk has never happened to close a game in NBA history. First time in NBA history that has happened. The Clippers just did not play well at all, and I think they let one slip away. And now you're going back to altitude in Denver, and you have to beat them twice, once at their home place. It's going to be really tough for the Clippers, really tough. So I would say the Clippers one hurts more.
Yeah, we got Allen right up top. Allen, with the last second losses, man, both of them tough, both of them nail biters. Which one do you think was hurting? Will pretty much hurt the other the most?
I agree with Scott on the basis that once Jokic gets up in a series like this is when Denver starts to smell blood in the water. And this is when they usually put their opponents away. We don't usually see that kind of a killer instinct with this young Knicks team yet. Especially given the injury history the Knicks have had in the last few postseasons. While as once Denver gets up like this, especially when they're having to go back home, this is usually when they put nail in the coffin team and whatnot. Clippers are still going to give them a fight. Don't get me wrong, and I hope the series kind of elongates a little bit, but it would not surprise me if Denver finishes this out. So I would say the Clippers one kind of hurts more.
Right. Kev, man, you a visitor here on the show, but I know you're aware of the two games from this past weekend. Which one, in your perspective, hurts the most?
Oh man, I was torn at first when I first saw the question, because on one hand, it's if you're the Clippers, you're just like, wow, if we just would have tried to box Russ out, we would have been fine. But if you're on the side of the Knicks when they lost, you're like, it's the refs. The refs screwed us. I mean, if the Pistons, sorry, if you're the Pistons, you're like, the refs screwed us. It's out of our control. I'm more of the control the controllables. That's where you take your accountability for. So I'm gonna go on the side of that Clippers loss is what hurts more. That's just where I'm leaning with it. The things you control, you gotta try your best to control, and if you can't, it's a little painful of act.
Yeah, I dig it. I if you could have just boxed out Aaron Gordon, the dunk champion, across your back, we wouldn't be in this situation. Jay, same joint. What you thinking?
Honestly, I was trying to find a reason to agree, because even though, just like Scott said, it didn't affect, when we talk about tonight's outcome. But I'm tired of Bickerstaff going through it with these refs.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that, again, they rebounded. They did what they were supposed to do. But I'm tired of Bickerstaff having to go at it with you. If anybody, and I'm just going, if anybody should be getting some type of respect when it comes to coaching, I'm just going to be honest. I would give more respect to a Bickerstaff than I would do just about any winning coach in the NBA, simply because of his lineage. Like, he knows the game. Like, damn. Like, this man has to sit here and argue about every freaking missed call, and I don't know. It's just been weird. It's just been weird for Bickerstaff. That's just the best way I could say. And so it's I'm grateful to see that he's still coaching through it. But yeah, I'm tired of seeing him. This has been a thing for me for some time now, and it's what's going on? That's my question. What's going on? Yeah, I got my singing. But yeah, seriously, but for real, I don't know why he's having such a tough time. He has a certain demeanor. We talking about Bernie. If anybody knows Bernie Bickerstaff's dad, you know what I mean. He had a certain I would say little personality that he kind of went at it with refs too. So it kind of fits the thing, the description of what a Bickerstaff would do. But anyway, like, still, why? Like, these are so many missed calls that we're talking about. So yeah, that's the one, for that reason only, man. I'm a bit more. It's more hurtful at that time and at that point. Without this win, yeah, I was more hurt for the Pistons.
More hurt for the Pistons, man. Bobby G, you East Coasting it, or you ride with the West Coast on this one, bro?
This is usually when I go into my Stephen A mode, but I can't, because Jay's absolutely right. Like, it literally hurt the Pistons more. Scott made a great point. Games usually don't end on dunks, because when you go down to the middle seconds, they count that as the ball. You usually count it as the ball still being in your hand. Mm-hmm. But on replay, you can clearly see the ball was out of his hand when the buzzer hit. So it was the right call. And more importantly, it was reviewable. 2 times. Scott and Jay used the same term. But the Pistons rebounded. And that's the reason why Scott is wrong. The Pistons shouldn't have rebounded tonight. They are down 3-2 in a series. They should be up 3-2 going home to close out.
I agree.
Like, because a referee who's standing right there on the spot. I don't know what contacts he's wearing. I don't know whatever eye provisions he uses. Do not need to be endorsed by anybody because they apparently suck.
Wow.
Kevin made a great point. Control the things you can control. Fundamentals of basketball. Hey, when the defender's closing out, you pump fake, and if he goes in the air, draw contact so you can go to the free throw line. He did the things he controlled, and he should have been rewarded for that, and he wasn't. Like, this is going to lead into the NBA summer, just like the pass interference call between the Saints and the Rams did a few years back. This is going to be the call that lingers and gets the rule committee together, and it's going to be a long talk about what can we do a replay, and that's where now this game is going to open a bigger conversation. We saw people talking about the Lakers game. Oh, we used this camera angle nobody's ever seen to get this call, but we can't do it when the referee blows it. And then you're going to come out 10 minutes later and say, yeah, we messed up. But how does that help me when I'm packing for Cancun?
That's right.
When I should be packing for Boston. It don't help me now. And so we've seen how this is played out over several years in the NFL. So my question to everybody in here, looking at the bigger picture, is it time for the NBA to bring Big Brother in like the NFL did, where they now have the replay crew looking at the game and they can buzz down to the referees and say, no, you got this wrong. Look at it again. Is it time for the NBA to institute these measures so we can get it absolute? Since you've taken all these measures to get everything absolutely right, is it now time for the league to step in and forget a 2-minute report? Let's get it right from the jump. We don't need a 2-minute report.
I don't think that, Bobby, but here's what I think they should do. 4th officials at the scorer's table with a buzzer or whatever hits the horn and says, hey, stop the game. You guys need to look at this. And they look at it and they recorrect it and make the correct call. I think a 4th official that is just sitting, or a 4th league member, whoever they deem necessary, sitting at the scorer's table, buzzes immediately. The refs have, like the NFL refs do, have that buzzer on them. It buzzes. They stop the game. They go over and look at it and recorrect what happened. Because Hardaway would have been at the foul line if that had been what was on. A 4th official on the sideline hitting the buzzer saying, hey, you guys need to look at this. You missed it. And that would solve all the problems.
All right, and now I just pissed myself off again because I just thought about it. NBA, what are you doing? They already have it. Yeah, you have a guy looking. They can interrupt the game and change the score from a 3 to a 2.
And then in Sea Caucus, they had the same setup, but it's not as.
Don't they have a 4th official at the playoffs? Don't they have a 4th official in the playoffs sitting at the scorer's table or something? Anyway,
yes, they do. That's the thing. I'm done. I'll wait my turn, but yeah, but Bobby's point is still valid though. And it makes you more pissed off, just like you said, because you got a dude sitting there. What are you looking at? How many beers are you drinking? What's going on? By the time these dudes get over to the scorer's table, you should already be like, oh nah, yeah, hey, keep going. He tipped it right. It goes right off his. What's going on? Why we still got to view it when we actually have somebody that's right there, viewing the game, ready for action as soon as one of the refs get hurt or sick, or whatever the case may be, and then you have Sea Caucus, New Jersey. Say how we call Sea Caucus. What is Sea Caucus doing? What are they looking at? They looking at Pornhub or they looking at the game? What's going on, man? Like,
Sea Caucus,
Bobby, I was gonna wait my turn, but I was like,
no, I feel you.
I can't wait because but you're right.
If this series goes 7 games and the Knicks win in 7, the whole talk is Tim Hardaway Jr. should be at the free throw line shooting 3 free throws down by 1.
Well, I'm glad they won a game. I'm glad it's not over for them.
Yeah,
that was a death sentence.
I actually think they're going to win Game 6. I think this is going back to New York for 7th.
I hope.
Yeah, our resident guest.
Here's the thing, right? When you start digging into like the person involved, the example of the pass interference, do you remember how terrible the next season was when they kept breaking up every single break in the action that maybe looked like a pass interference or maybe looked like a hold, and then the game got even slower? The last 2 minutes of an NBA game already take an hour. Let's not make it worse.
Hey, well,
refs have human error. It's part of the game. There's gonna be missed calls. That's why we have 7-game series. Like it'll be fine. We don't need to have the big brother refs in there. I see all of you guys' points. Don't get me wrong. You want to get these as right as possible, but as long as you're dealing with humans, unless you want to replace the refs with AI, and we're gonna get that started already.
Baseball. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nope, see. unless that's what y'all trying to do, then this is just kind of gonna be is what it is for the time being. And it personally doesn't bother me as much because we have these 7-game series. The refs are gonna screw you 4 games in a row to end your season.
Okay. So here's my question to you would be, Kev.
If it was the Celtics, yes, I'd be living and I would not be saying that.
No, not that. Who decided that the Pistons were more important than the Mavericks? Here's what I mean.
Okay.
This current challenge system exists because a call was screwed up in the NBA Finals in front of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So you telling me the Pistons don't matter because it's a first-round playoff series that they should lose because they're the underdog?
I'm not saying that, and I do see what you're saying.
You kind of are.
No, I do see what you're saying, but I'm not saying that. To me, the stakes of the game are higher in the finals, which is why they made that.
So you're saying
it's not about the team, it's about the round. It's like, okay, we're not gonna do this for a random game in November. There's an NFL game on, and ain't nobody watching this anyways because it's Charlotte versus who cares. Like, but if it's the finals, it's game 6, and it's LeBron trying to take a charge versus KD. Hey, get on the board. Hey, we need to get that right now, or else we're gonna hear about it all summer long. Mm-hmm. So I get the stakes are different.
That's like the summary of what he's been doing all series against Minnesota.
Trying to get to this.
Trying to get fouls called. Try to get
It's been a rough series for my goat, but it's been rough.
The stakes are JB's job because Jay's absolutely right. JB Bickerstaff is going to get fired in about 2 seasons.
Oh man, dang!
This series could have played a part in preventing that.
Can't even make it to 5.
It's just history telling. I only say that because he did the same thing with my Cavs, and it sucks that it happens to happen against the Knicks again. Like his downfall started when we got beat by the Knicks 3 years ago, and his inability to execute in the playoffs. In 2 weeks, next season, this might be forgotten about, and it's just going to be about Bickerstaff not being able to excel in the playoffs again. That's the difference this call makes. You know what I'm saying? Like when you butterfly effect this thing, it's bigger than just the first round versus the final. This man's livelihood is on the line, and like future him doesn't even know it yet.
Wow.
Just look at Denver,
because
Minnesota.
You refuse to try and get a call right.
Denver fires their coach 2 years after he wins the NBA title. Minnesota fires the coach a year after they go up against Dallas and losing it.
Chauncey Billups got a job.
I'm just saying it's the way the NBA is. Look at in the other situation. Look at Phoenix. 3 coaches, 3 years. They're about to go on their 4th coach in 4 years. I mean,
that's a larger conversation.
Not the coach eventually. You got to look at the players. You got to look at a lot of other things. It's not the coach. It's
Bobby. What if we've been screaming for like 3 years that they need to get an actual point guard in Phoenix? Like
replay can't help that.
Yeah, no.
I mean, the players run the league right now. If the players don't like the coach, the players will get the coach fired.
Hey, for sure. That's definitely an answer. Now I'm going to throw in my hat on this one. This is just This is just the craziness about it, right? So I didn't really get to say anything about the Denver Clippers, the Denver versus Clippers loss, or the Detroit one, right? So this is what I remember, and I saved it because I thought I was tripping when I went to the bathroom and came back or whatever. So the Clippers went on a 32-9 run to take the lead with 1 minute and 2 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Now, if y'all know me, we've had multiple conversations about me being enthralled and enthusiastic about how well Kawhi Leonard has been looking since his return. Kawhi Leonard has been looking at like the best player in the conference at some point in time during these playoff series. And then we got him to do what? He comes out there, he's doing his thing, and oh my God, Kawhi drops 24, right? Zubac, who possibly could have won the defensive player of the year. Shout out to you, Bobby, for your player with defensive of the year. Norman Powell, 22. Like this playoff type experience with a healthy Kawhi does not normally repeat itself. James Harden out here getting double doubles. To me, even though I completely understand the Knicks and Detroit, foul up of a call right there, to have Jokic, the quote unquote best player in the world, or one of two of the best players in the world, miss a three. Because if y'all was watching that game, he hit a crazy almost logo 3, 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, like 3-4 minutes before that. So for him to miss and then Aaron Gordon to jump out of the gym as normal, head be above the rim and catch the ball, like Bobby said, it's never happened before. Never. Throw the ball in the rim in 0.1 seconds. I thought that was just a crucial moment. And then, yes, the whole idea of tying in the severity of a game, I think is important. Playoffs, it should be maybe only in the playoffs. I don't want to say, like Bobby was saying, just because Detroit they're supposed to lose against the Knicks. Nah, I think maybe it could be during the playoffs. They have someone doing it, just like Jay says in Secaucus. I watched the UFL. If y'all ever get into some of that spring football, they have a guy who literally is on all of the angles of all the calls while the game is going on. He got like 6 screens and he pulls up all of the calls. He's reviewing the touchdowns. He's reviewing where the ball is placed. He's doing all of that at the same time. The NBA needs to take note of that and basically have somebody doing that live at the game or while it's being broadcast from Secaucus, possibly. And keeping an eye on things. So I definitely agree with the heads up on, hey, somebody needs to be monitoring this, because even the LeBron call, like Bobby said, right? The foul, the slap on the wrist, I've never in my life have I seen that drone camera behind the rim ever been used. But for LeBron and the Timberwolves, Bobby, they used it somehow magically, right? So in essence, I think we got some great points on that one. And for me, it's definitely going to be the Clippers, man. They did a huge number on that one.
Are we getting to the Lakers eventually?
Yeah, we are.
Right. All right. I got a couple things on the Lakers.
Bobby, I think that's Bobby's most hated team, the Clippers.
The Lakers, Clippers.
No, the Clippers.
Oh, we ain't gonna talk about the Clippers.
They put everybody that Bobby hates. So what?
Bobby doesn't hate on very many, but when he does, oh yeah, you feel that hate. And speaking of which, thank you, Uncle Scott. It's a great segue. What about the Lakers, right?
Wow.
Lakers in 7. Shrug your shoulders, Jay. You don't know. We don't know. I don't know. I can't call it right now. Uncle Shannon had us in there doing all kinds of nursery rhymes when it came to Lakers in 5. But it doesn't look like it's happening.
It still could be Lakers in 5. It's just the other way around.
No, the other way around. Yeah, I agree.
It's the other way. So as we watch this series take place, what are some of the key factors that we are witnessing right before our very eyes about the 2 players that we thought could go through anything, being Luka Doncic and LeBron James, facing off against the young, hungry Minnesota Timberwolves squad, who almost did it last year, but they look a little different this year. What are some of our biggest takeaways from this one? I'll let Kev start off on that.
Something I've been thinking about the Lakers all year long is that this team was never truly built to play the style of basketball JJ Redick wants to play. We all know that if you heard him on Mind the Game, if you heard him on ESPN last year, his own podcast, you'll hear him talk about analytics, talk about taking more threes. They may play that style from time to time, but to put it bluntly, who is their JJ Redick? Who is their catch and shoot guy that they're able to go to when they need that three? Their team is led by two ball dominant point forwards. LeBron less so ever since Luka came there because Luka can't play off the ball to save his life. So that's kind of the way their team is headed. That's not very analytics friendly. And when you look at the rest of the roster, when Austin Reeves is your third best player and he's better than your fourth and fifth by a mile, you're not going to be able to beat a team that was just in the Western Conference Finals the year before. Like that. That's just not how this league works, no matter how good your two best players are. So I'm not really surprised on how this series is going.
Facts. Not a big surprise as to how it looks right now. Then of course Uncle Scott was ready to jump in. Uncle Scott, what you got?
Does every NBA team have a bench? There's a bench on the NBA team, right? There's players on the bench, right?
I already know where he's going with this.
Okay. JJ Redick, there's guys sitting on the bench that you need to put in the game and not play all your starters 4 minutes in a game. He's completely lost his team right now, especially the bench players. They think that the coach does not trust their talent to help this team win games. So to me, this series is a coach's loss. It is on the players some, but for the most part, JJ Redick has lost this series for the Lakers. He's not playing anybody. They are very tired right now. The Timberwolves have taken away all their energy as of right now. Now, if they come on Game 5 and if it's a different story, and they win the game and they win it convincingly, then I'll change my mind. But maybe. But right now, JJ Redick has completely lost this series for the Lakers. Those starters are completely gassed right now. They have no energy left. They have no legs left. JJ Redick, he was brought to LA to get them to the at least Western Conference Finals. And the way he's coaching that team right now, they're never going to get out of the first round ever. Wow. So to me, JJ Redick is the problem on this team right now. He's not coaching. He's not having a good series as a coach.
Damn.
So, yeah,
Mr. Perales, do you concur?
Well, I mean, to piggyback off of what Scott was saying, normally for a team, you should have like 7 or 8 guys that you could throw out there at any point, and maybe like half of them that you could truly trust to kind of help carry a team. And I saw a video of somebody saying JJ Redick has 4 guys on that staff that he trusts, and only 2 of them that he can really count on. And one of them no-showed in the fourth quarter last night. That was LeBron James. So, especially, this is what happened. And again, like Scott said, this is what happens when you play your starters the entire time. Guys get gassed. And especially when you can't make a shot, you're just throwing up shots just to try to save your season at this point. It's not a good look for you. So yes, it is. It is. While people can say what they want about LeBron, and yes, I've been very critical of him too. I agree with Scott. This is on JJ Redick. It is a coaching thing, and they need to figure out how to deal with Anthony Edwards, because right now he's shutting not just LeBron down, he's shutting Luka down. And I've heard many people today say, "Well, I think we can we can officially say that Ant is a better player than Luka Doncic right now."
Wow.
Okay. Especially with the fact that he got to the Western Conference Finals last year, taking out Jokic and the Nuggets, and now he's about to take out.
And then got taken out by who? Like, what are we doing?
And then,
okay, real quick.
Us Celtics fans hate the Lakers, but here's another point. Who buried the Timberwolves last year in the playoffs?
Thank you.
Luka Doncic. Who's not burying the Timberwolves in the playoffs this year? Luka Doncic. Why? Because his coach has taken all his stamina away from him.
Let me defend JJ slightly here, and far be it from me to defend a white man, but here I am. So with JJ Redick, bro, I felt this way since before the season started, and before they traded away even more of their shooting, so they can add Luka Doncic, who again is a ball dominant. He's not here to catch and shoot a damn thing. He's shooting off the dribble. That's what he does. Yep. This team is not built to play in a style that JJ Redick wants to play, which is a lot of catch and shoot three, like the Celtics. Like, go watch how the Celtics play. That's essentially how he wants to play, which is why he loves Joe Mazzulla so much. The fact that there's only but so many players on this roster that he deems playable kind of proves my point. That is like, yeah, no shit, he doesn't want to put Rui Hachimura and Jackson Hayes on the floor right now when he's trying to save his life in a playoff series. They're not built for this in the way he wants to play the sport. That's not really a him thing. It's a, what's my Laker GM name? I'm blanking on it right now. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Rob Pelinka.
Yeah, it's a Pelinka problem, and it's been a Pelinka problem for quite some time. He just so happened to luck into Luka Doncic this year because Nico Harris is an idiot. Like,
I was gonna say, if you remember, too, Pelinka tried to make another trade with, I think it was Charlotte. Too.
Hey, don't steal my thunder. Don't steal my thunder. I'm going to talk about that.
To get a big on there.
Wait a minute. They could have Bronny play. Maybe Bronny will help.
Wow.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
I got a question. Kevin, if you don't mind me asking, who you got a college team in basketball?
I do not. No, sir.
Okay, good. So I wanted to make sure I don't.
You thought I was a Duke fan the way I was defending JJ?
No. I just wanted to make sure that I was not going to offend you by any Duke slander. And I'm loving it. I'm loving the fact that, yes, people are blaming JJ Redick. Not necessarily saying it is his fault, but just the fact that they're blaming him. I love it. I knew that commercial was going to be like real one day. And here we are. I love it. That ESPN commercial, yeah. But anyway, I love it. So
Jay's dreams have come true finally.
Yeah.
Careful, Jay. Your inner Tar Heel is showing.
I know. What else do I have, Alan?
Shout out to Uncle Bo, who will be joining us in on the second segment.
Hey, Bo, what's up?
But yeah, I love it, man. As far as I'm concerned, I'm loving it right now.
Hey, Bobby G, man. You know what I'm saying? Close us out on this one.
You sure you want me to do that, Skip? I'm gonna tell you what, man. These Lakers, boy, it don't matter. You know where I'm going with this. Killer B, Queen B, Buzz B, Shannon and 5 to 10, maybe 7 with good behavior. Boy, I'm gonna tell you what, that boy JJ Redick, man, he don't know whether to check his ass or scratch his watch. Look at here. How you got a whole bench? And you run your starters 24 consecutive minutes in the second half? 24 consecutive minutes in the second half. What are you doing, boy?
Your man said check his ass or scratch his wrist.
I thought Duke was supposed to be smart. I thought you were taking notes where Coach K was spending all that knowledge at you. I guess not. But look at here, Skip. Yeah. It's over.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up. Ant-Man gonna take care of the situation nice, fast, and in a hurry on Friday. He gonna send LeBron just like he sent Kevin Durant packing last season. I'm telling you, boy, he's the future.
Wow. Stephen A., how do you feel about LeBron? You like LeBron?
Well,
Shannon.
He's doing the Shannon.
Oh, he's doing the shit. Shannon, what do you think about LeBron? You like LeBron?
I mean, he's still Go James. It's still Go James. It don't matter. It's Go James. The man's 40 years old, man. 40 years old out there. He shouldn't have to carry all this weight. I mean, how long is he gonna have to carry JJ? He carried the man out to carry to podcast fame, and now out of major coaches Lakers. But what are you doing? You squandering an opportunity, man. You squandering an opportunity. You see who I got? I'm gonna get Steve Nash in here next season. Now we gonna do.
Wow,
that's what we gonna do.
and this is crazy to even say Steve Nash's name in the same message because that's the same thing. Go ahead, Joe.
I'm gonna tell you, look at this, Skip. It's over. It's over. You ain't restricted. It's over. We going to Hollywood. You know, the Rock got a new movie coming out. You know, Go Jam. We're gonna see if we can get him over to Spring Hill. We making the movie feature with him. We hear John Cena want to get into some action. We're gonna call him up too. See if we can work out with him. Maverick got a couple of projects. So, you know, really after I'm done with basketball, or you know, after Go James done with Basketball Friday, we got plenty going on and you know, opportunities. So, you know, we read just you know, we can go spend more time with Savannah and you know, and Bryce. We gotta get Bryce ready for the league as well. So, you know, these players, Skip, just yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead and put us out of our misery. And I'm gonna tell you what, Jeannie, you better cut some big chips in the summer. I'm not coming around here being a 40-year-old man carrying all this goddamn dead with. Luka, get your ass in shape. That's what we're gonna come back stronger next year, and we'll be, you know, we'll be ready. It's Go James all day.
Shannon, the way the Lakers are playing is blasphemous. They're blasphemous.
Go James all day.
Listen, it's crazy that you pulled that off for that long. You stayed in. Shout out to Bobby G, ladies and gentlemen, for the Shannon impression.
Now we gotta acknowledge it. We gotta acknowledge him.
Gotta acknowledge the tribal chief. Yes.
No.
Yo, but I was locked in for that one, so I would give all credit on that one. In real life, we know it's going to be tough for the Lakers to do anything. I just want to say, hey, look, when I saw that replay and they kept playing it over and over again, Anthony Edwards pushing old LeBron, pushing on old man LeBron. I said, yeah, this is different. This is different. This is not normal. Everybody give LeBron respect. Want his jersey when the game is over. Come, you know, eat with me and your wife. Nah, Anthony Edwards is bringing that old Kevin Garnett sweaty, put my head on your forehead, on your chest, push you off every time you come down to the court energy, and I appreciate that. This has been one of the most aggressively done series ever in recent history on both the East and the West Coast. So shout out to the Rockets who think they can beat the Warriors as well. Speaking of which, who is more likely to overcome their deficit in the playoffs this round? The Lakers, the Warriors. We just saw the Pistons. We can't include the Bucks because they just lost, you know, and were sent home. We will talk about that shortly. But with just this, you know, this list right here, fellas, and you know, pretty much the Orlando Magic just lost as well. From the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Pistons, of course, because the Warriors just won last. Yeah, so the Warriors just won last night. That when we had this conversation, they were actually playing the game. So. Yeah, it's really the Rockets and not the Warriors. From that standpoint, which one of these teams do we think can actually recover from the deficit?
Is none of the above an answer? Because like
everybody going down, right?
Yeah, bro. It's kind of slow for all three of them. Like it's. I mean, if I had to pick one, it would probably be the team with the greatest player ever on it. That would probably be the best bet. But like. How am I supposed to put faith in a team that's playing 5 guys and only really cares about 4 of them? Wow. How am I gonna guess that they're gonna win 3 more games out of the next 4? Like, nah, man. That's gross. It's gross.
I would say it would have to be the Pistons if it's any of those 3, because they won tonight, so they're down 3-2. If they win at home, it's 3-3, and it's going back to New York, and Game 7s can be a funny thing sometimes.
If this was next year, I'd agree with you. I feel like they're too young. If this was 2026, I'd be like, yeah, but
I agree none, but I think the Pistons are the best shot out of those 3 to get it to at least the Game 7, if not win it.
Mr. Allen, your team coming back from a deficit.
I kind of agree with everybody else. I don't think you're going to see any team come back. You know, Rockets, while I think the biggest kind of chaos is seeing what a team with no expectation does in the postseason. So I think that could play in the Rockets' favor, but I think they're too young as well, kind of like what the Pistons are. but I do think the Pistons have a good chance to come back because this is kind of where the Knicks have been before, right? Like they've squandered leads like this in the past. So if there's one team that will probably have a chance to screw it, I think the better question is which team has the chance to screw this series up. I think you would have to say the New York Knicks. So for that reason, I would say if I had to choose a team, probably the Pistons.
Probably the Pistons. And then Bobby G, same question, bro. Is there hope for anybody, or is it over?
And now it's time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends. Shout out to Joe Torre. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. It's the Pistons, kind of by default. Like Shannon said, the Lakers they cook. That just is what it is. The Clippers, I have no faith. I just have no faith. If they lose tonight, like I could, Kawhi and Ben Simmons are gonna pack it in because they don't really want to play basketball. The Pistons, they're running off adrenaline, man. They're running off adrenaline and anger. And while I agree, the youth can be a problem, anger is a stronger emotion. They feel they got screwed, and the only way that they can show they got screwed is to perform on the court. Also, we are due for the Karl Anthony Towns letdown game. If that happens in game 6, hey, like Scott said, hey, game 7's funny. Anything can happen. So yeah, by default, it's the Pistons.
And the Pistons have won in New York twice now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That I would definitely agree with all of y'all on this one. The Pistons seem as though this is where we're gonna do. This is where we're gonna be at with this one with the Pistons, and then magically somehow, some kind of way, it feels like the Rockets can at least take it to Game 7. I don't want to say that they'll win the series. I think that the Rockets can take it to Game 7. That's been a really tough competitive series as well. And then, hey, last but not least, guys, we gotta say get well soon to Dame, man. Dame, unfortunately, non-contact injury, tore his Achilles, man. And as Achilles tendons and injuries go, we've seen Clay, we've seen KD, and now Dame. That pretty much signs him out for the 2025-26 season. It's over with.
So can I give the dark news about Dame real quick?
Go ahead, bro. Get on that. You got it.
So Dame might be cooked for the rest of his career. There was another future Hall of Fame guard who tore his ACL tore his Achilles at the age of 34 years old. A man by the name of Kobe Bryant. Maybe you've heard of him. So after he tore his ACL, after he tore his Achilles at 34, he was never the same player again. He played a total of 41 games combined the next 2 years, and then the third year was the farewell tour that ended in the 60-point game. That was the end of Kobe Bryant as we knew it. And Dame being a smaller guard who already are not known for their durability, I think it's over, man. I think that's the last we've ever seen of at least maximum level Dame Lillard. Then it's hard to see.
Wow.
I would agree with Kevin. I don't think Dame's going to play another NBA game again. I think he's done.
Not another.
Oh, I wasn't going that far. Oh my God.
Another full-fledged game.
Listen, the Bucks aren't going to sign him. Okay, he's not going to get the money in a new contract that he thinks he's worth. He's going to have to play on a short money deal.
Yeah, because
I'm talking about like a $3 or $4 million deal.
He's guys like
guys his age just don't come back from this, as Kev just said with Kobe. They just don't. And if he comes back, which I don't think he is, but if he does, he's going to be a bench player that plays limited minutes because he's not going to be able to perform at the highest of levels. And I don't know if he's ready to go out on the court and not be Dame Lillard. That's the whole thing. I don't know if he can bring himself mentally to be a quarter or half of what Dame Lillard is or was. I don't know if he's ready for that. So mentally, he might be he might just check himself out. Say, I've done everything I could in my career. I can't do it anymore. So
I don't know. The only 2 points I would use to argue against that is his game was not solely based on athleticism. So that there's a chance he could come back and still be a solid guard. And the other thing, somebody gave Klay Thompson $40 million. So I'm not gonna say Dame can't come back and get a check because
the same front office who traded Luka Doncic a couple months later. So I don't think they're making the smartest decisions up there.
But I mean, I'm not gonna.
He could go to Dallas. Dallas could give him $40 million. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Dallas says it's Dame Lillard. Let's give him a contract.
There are some young teams coming up that we're watching develop that can use a vet guard if they feel that. That's all I'm saying.
Jay, listen,
the Las Vegas team, Bobby.
Ooh, hey.
No, we want an expansion team. We don't want the hand me downs. We want expansion.
I was about to say AP.
I was gonna say you could send it back to Portland. I'm sure they take it back.
Wow. See, here we go. See, you said it.
Jay, where are you? Get Jay back on.
Here we go.
Here he comes.
Saying man, dog.
Say his name and he appears.
I can't wait. Nah, people just talk when the team's doing what they're doing, and then I keep telling you, Alan, you know what I'm saying? Sports guys will always do what they do, so keep the hate. But he's right. Dang. Come back, man. Listen. I get it. If you told them, like, look, I'm about to go get this check, you know what I'm saying? Who else is gonna pay you $53 million, bro? I told y'all about this. Who gonna pay him $53 million?
The Dallas Mavericks, as Bobby said, the Dallas Mavericks. I listen.
You didn't hear. If there's no casino, there will be no fun of basketball in Dallas.
What? No casino, no ball.
So, nah, come on back, man. You got a young team that's looking for your tutelage, man, your help. You know what I'm saying? Chauncey needs some help.
They're ready to learn.
We look at the conference. Look at the outside. It's a strong division. We come back and we can. Come on, man. Come on back. I told you, don't leave. Leave. That's
that piece of delivery driver that he messing with. He about to kidnap Jay.
Dame Lillard's in Jay's internet.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the thing is,
he got the Watkins bump.
Yep.
Listen, and I'm here to say in real life, I am somewhere in the world of, hey, look, if right now I'm interested in 2 years, a year and a half from now, what happens with it broke up just a little bit, Jay, on your rant. I'm interested in seeing what happens with both Kyrie and Dame and how they perform after coming back from these type of injuries, because I made a big noise about it when it happened to Kyrie, and he got right up there on the free throw line, shot them free throws, looked dead in the camera, and said, "Thank you, God," because that I don't know what he was thinking, but hey, for him to say that and walk off the court still, that's a big deal. And unfortunately, just like Alan says, man, we are closer to the end of Dame's career than we are the beginning or the peak. So it's unfortunate. And even though this season they were, I think, top 3 in duos for the NBA, with being Dame and Giannis, that still did not produce them enough win shares, and they did not play defense. It didn't really. Although they got points, they got buckets. They didn't really get no points, bro. It really didn't get no points. But hey, it is what it is, and I wish Dame the best, man. Maybe he does, man. We make that farewell tour in Portland. We make up for it, or in a year or some change, there will be. I guarantee you there'll be a team on the East Coast looking for Dame services, like the Brooklyn Nets or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Dame, you know what I'm saying? That I think that would be exactly what it'd be. You know how it works.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
But guys, look what we did, fellas. We rolled through the first hour. We didn't even blink. It just happened. Man, once again, you're on the Rec Room Sports crew right now. It is Tuesday. We are in the middle of at the end of our NBA conversation. And one of our guests for today, did a great job. Big shouts out to Kevin, man. Kev Pierce, man. Oh my God, bro. You brought the fire. We appreciate you for coming through like that. We knew you was going to be, a guest, but man, we did not know that you were also going to take your shoes off in the house and get comfortable. But that's okay. That's what we do. That's what we do here. Get comfortable, join us, get into the mantra. Kev, as you are on your way out, bro, please share us some of your socials so that we can make sure we are following you as well.
Well, first, thank y'all for having me. I always say y'all invite me on because you like the content, so I don't want to come in here acting like somebody else. So I always will come in here. Same person you see on your phone, same person you'll see here. So at K Pierce TV, that's KPEARCE TV on all platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok.
I gotta get with Threads. I got a Thread yet.
It just activate it. If you make content on Instagram, it'll automatically post on Threads. You don't even have to think about it. It just does. It just does the thing.
Once again, God dang, that boy got 13.2. We got to step it up.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. Until next time.
Hey man, thanks again, Kev. We appreciate you. We'll get with you on the next go round.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Look at that. We made it to that first hour. It's been happening.
Go Celtics. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? And Scott should say, go Patriots.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm
yeah.
sorry. My fault.
Huge Boston guy.
Hey, Kevin's my type of guy, let me tell you.
Yeah, so look, fellas, y'all know what time it is, man. We are deep into the start of that second hour where we still have the gang hanging out with us. We got AP Allen. Alan, what we got going on this week? We doing on the mat? We got what we doing? Elimination Chamber? What we talking about?
I mean, back permitting. I will find out here in a couple of weeks when I am getting my back surgery, so that's good news.
All right,
so hopefully it won't take too much longer because I've already had to wait long enough, and I hate not working. So, yeah, it's been rough, but on the mat. Baseball show, everything that we do, especially lock it in for sure. So, yeah, go check it out. You can follow me on Twitter at April30 as well. So,
all right, thanks, AP man. Hey, we appreciate you. We know you got some things going on. We're gonna be keeping an eye on you with that on demand. Big shouts out to our guy Sam. Went all the way to Wisconsin, put on his Tennessee gear, strutted his stuff, and was excited about taking pictures with other guys of huge fandom. So big shouts out to you, man. Thanks, Alan, again for joining us.
Came back and started doing NRL.
Right?
NPR radio.
Right. Shouts out there, man. Thanks, Alan, for joining us. We're going to also get into the football in just a second. Uncle Scott, man, thanks again for hanging with us. Bobby G, we see you. We are in the building as always, and of course, JDMIC was really good. Fellas, NFL, the draft, and more. So you know what that means. We got two of our favorite correspondents in the background right about now. So we're going to go ahead and bring them in. So we got to do it properly, of course. We got Big Champ in the building. What's going on, champion? Uncle Bo, thank you for joining us on the floor.
Hey, how y'all doing, man? It's a privilege and an honor to be back here.
Always great to see you guys.
Thank you. Hey, it's always great to have y'all. We could not be getting to this segment without the names. Sometimes you got to have names. John Cena came back to wrestling. You know what I'm saying? The Rock put on a vest. That means we got to have Bo and Champ back once again to talk some football. Okay?
Yeah.
So as we all know, man, the draft never been so much televised or so much coverage in my wildest dreams. But this one was an interesting one. We started at the top with Cam Ward, and somehow we made it through 5 days of names in which varied from various schools. And some teams did what they're supposed to do. Some teams did something that we didn't expect them to do. But either way, we're going to talk about it right about now, man. So, fellas, man, as we get started, man, right at the top, who got drafted into the best situations in the 2025 draft? And I'm sure there's some names that stand out to you guys. And of course, Champ, you're one of my favorite people, man. I want you to go ahead and kick it off with us. Who was somebody, in your opinion, that got drafted into a great situation?
I will say, look, people can say all they want to about how Cleveland went about it, but whoever ends up starting for Cleveland is in a great situation. They have two good running backs. You have Sampson and you have Quinshon Jenkins. Remember, Quinshon Jenkins was the leading rusher in the SEC before he transferred to Ohio State. You have Jared Judy. You have David Njoku. You have the other wide out that's there. And you have a stifling defense. And they went and got Mason Graham from Michigan. So you have a stifling defense and a good offense. The only thing that is missing at this point is quarterback play. And if you know anything about if they get somebody, hopefully it's Shedeur. Well, whether it's Shedeur or Dylan Gabriel, it really doesn't matter. But if they can get someone at least decent in there that can get you 25 touchdowns a season, maybe 6 picks, that's enough to get them where they need to be. I mean, like I said, if they're decent, because like I said, they have all the tools in order to be there. I hate my guy Nick Chubb is still a free agent, but be that as it may, look, Cleveland. I have to say Cleveland. Oh yeah, and let's not forget Campbell from Alabama. Philadelphia, y'all can't keep getting away with this, man. y'all cannot keep getting away with this. You won't get away with this. I mean, for you to just keep stockpiling guys is just crazy. I mean, you coming up. I mean, you already had a stifling defense. Then you went and got Jaleel Campbell from Alabama. Philly, y'all cannot keep getting away with this. But of course, you can't spell Eagles without the G and the A, and the A in Alabama and the G in Georgia. So I mean, we're gonna call them the Philadelphia Alabama Bulldogs now, or whatever you want to call them. I don't
know. Got you, man. Shout out to the Philadelphia Alabama Bulldogs. JDMIC, I know you had a couple of joints on this one.
Champ, man, I'm gonna start with as a franchise, y'all became men. You know what I'm saying? Y'all lost your virginity. You understand what I'm saying? You drafted a UGA player in the first round, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know what time it is. You know how y'all do. Y'all just be like, he went to where? Nah, we gonna go for this player. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? It never adds up, right? It's like, why didn't you take the UGA player? They finally got it right this time. And what was it? It was the edge rush. First and second picks went to the edge rush. The reason why I'm speaking on the Falcons is because I just really feel that was a big leap for them. But I want to say 7 years they've been without a pass rush. 7 years. We're going back to Vic Beasley. Claiborne was a leader 1 year of the team, not the NFL, with like 7 sacks. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, 7 years. It's been 7 years since Vic Beasley, man. It's been like 7 years since they've been able to produce some type of pass rush. So I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna go with you have, and DC, man. That's right now. He's on the edge right now. He got a lot going on. But not seriously. With them, the Falcons getting 2 edge rushers. That if you take their stats with what they did in college, they would have led the team. So I'm going with the Falcons, man, and I'm gonna be out. But last thing I just want to say, the GMs of this draft, they wanted P's and Q's this draft. there might have been a little debacle here and there as far as like who people thought should have been drafted where or whatever the case may be. But these GMs were on their P's and Q's for simply not being, like I said before, the John Mara this year. Nobody wants to go viral for not having any knowledge of where to go with their team or what not to do. So yeah. But shout out to the Falcons to me for going edge rush and you gotta when you look at everybody in the draft in the first round or however you want to look at it, they are a team that went without something. We talking about without a pass rush for 7 years, and they went to the edge. Their defense was doing pretty good with what they had. They have Bates still. They ended up. I think Walker is going to end up being. I think he's a better prospect than your boy out of Penn State. I really feel that he is. I really feel that I've heard a lot of people on film that agree. Basically, by looking at film, I'm looking at Micah Parsons, man. Y'all not seeing that? I mean, Chad, I know you see it. I'm done. I just want to, my 2 cents in, but that I think for what they did and what they could possibly get off of that by getting 2 edge rushers like that, and then Spears. I'm just saying, look out.
Look out. We're gonna keep our eyes open, man. Thanks, Jay, for that analysis right there for sure. Uncle Bo, we haven't gotten a chance to talk to you in a while, man. And great coverage of the Arena Football League, and I want to hear more about that towards the end of the show. I love that. I love that stuff, man. Uncle Bo, man, who got put into a great position in these drafts or in this draft?
So we're gonna get to see the position that Anthony Richardson should have been in. So with Milroe going to Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
Right? His comp is Anthony Richardson. Not a super accurate thrower. A lot of athletic upside. But instead of being forced to have to go play, he actually gets an opportunity to develop. And he's not even the backup. He's drafted as QB3, right? You have Darnold gets paid. Now they have outs. All of his guaranteed money is this next year. So if for whatever reason he flames out, Milroe takes off, they can get out of that thing. They also bring back Drew Lock, who has proven as a backup he can go win games. So there's no pressure for Milroe to have to do anything this first year, which is exactly what Anthony Richardson needed. So we get to watch the way that the Colts have actively tried to destroy the talent of Anthony Richardson. And now we get to see that same dude with a situation where he gets to learn. And so, I think he ended up in a great situation, especially when you look at all the different quarterbacks that got drafted. It's amazing how many of them got drafted to crowded rooms, right? Yeah. You have the Browns doing what they did, right? Like they got 5 quarterbacks, right? And 2 of them they drafted as back-to-back quarterback drafts, right? Now, it wasn't their back-to-back picks, but it was Gabriel, and then Shedeur was the next quarterback taken. So, I mean, that's wild. Then you look at the Colts, right? They also draft a guy, even though they went and grabbed Daniel Jones. So that was weird. I think the other drafty quarterback-wise that landed in a good spot is Howard. Howard going to the Steelers, I do like that. And it's a situation that is great for him and the franchise because he is the guy that they've been missing since Big Ben. They like that big-bodied, active quarterback. And so they finally have it. Now, it's the Steelers, so if the Rodgers decides that he wants to destroy a franchise, they're going to let it happen.
We're going to let it happen.
But that draft pick I liked. So
most definitely. Okay. So Uncle Scott, who made a good solid move for you this draft?
So the Raiders hire Pete Carroll as a coach, bring him in. As Bo knows, He's a defensive coach, and he loves to run the football. So the Raiders pick Ashton Ginty. All he has to do is beat out Sincere McCormick and Amir Abdullah, and he's going to get as many carries as he wants. And that I'm thinking he's going to. I'm assuming he's going to. I think Ashton Ginty's in a great spot to get a ton of work, to get meaningful carries, and to take that Raiders offense to the next level, because now you got Geno Smith at quarterback. You got Brock Bowers. You got Jacoby Myers. The kid Besh they drafted is going to work out to be a good player, I think, good receiver for them. And then you get Ashton Ginty in the backfield. And if that line can be really good, Ashton Ginty could be a really good running back in the NFL. Granted, now he's going to be one of the highest paid running backs in the NFL, and he hasn't taken a snap yet. But I think he's in a great situation to excel and be really good. So,
you know, the best part about that for him is they gave Geno every possession receiver possible, right? So they have an okay offensive line, but you have two great tight ends. You have possession style receivers, and then you go get that running back. Raiders are going to be fun to watch.
Raiders are definitely going to be fun to watch. Definitely going to be fun to watch. Bobby G, you know, I know you got your eyes on Cleveland, but is that who you think maybe put some teams on the best position so far?
Skip, let me tell you what. every general manager in this damn NFL draft, boy, they about as lost as last year's Easter eggs. Let me tell you. Look here. Number one, everybody's looking at Cleveland, but they're looking in the wrong place. And everybody's going to look at Shedeur. And yes, the competitions are great. But the person who made out the best, Quinshon Judkins. Cleveland Browns, they look like they're about to get back to what Kevin Stefanski does best. And when you think about what he does best, the Cleveland Browns running game was very, very strong. And if you look at Quinshon, you could make an argument that his perfect career comp could be Nick Chubb. He's a sturdy guy. He doesn't have the breakaway speed. He does have speed good enough. You know, it's not impossible to run down, but he's difficult. And of course, he runs like a mad jackrabbit. Him being in there, and he's hands. They can utilize him like they used Kareem Hunt in the past. So I'm looking at him. Another guy who's in a perfect situation. I hate to admit it, because his team just year after year after year picks up their type of guys. Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer ended up in Pittsburgh. Oh my God! And you put him with TJ. Why Pittsburgh always end up with these great low key Ohio State guys? You know, you get Shazier, Cam Hayward. They always end up with some great talent out of Ohio State, and they've done it again. Jack Sawyer, you're gonna line him up on the other side of Highsmith. You know, he just the rotation on that front seven is going to be crazy. Their pass rush would be ridiculous as usual. But yeah, I'm looking for those two guys. And as far as NFL, let's get it together. Let's get it together. Let's stop BSing. Let's we know what that. Wait a minute. All right, I'm back, y'all. Yeah, let's get Shannon up out of here.
Get Shannon up.
But no, just a message to the NFL. Like, everybody can post the BS reasons on why they think this young man failed and what happened to this young man. Is this a topic or just go ahead?
We were going to address it eventually. If you like,
I'll
step on it a little bit.
I'll save it then.
I thought you were going to bring it up. I wanted to show you how excited they looked in the presser.
Oh no, you sir, we got our own beat to settle. This man is flagrant lies about my NFL team, like flagrant lies about you know,
flagrant
lies about the team. You know,
well, I mean, it is the NBA playoffs. So every foul is a flagrant foul.
Yeah, just spreading lies about our front office. And because of a still photo ESPN took while they was on a lunch break, you know,
photo.
Oh yeah,
I got you a video.
Flagrant lies. Fake news. I got Donald Trump on the case.
There we go.
You know, we are gonna get football talk with Bo up out of here. Just the disrespect.
Yo, fake news.
I didn't realize facts were disrespectful now.
Well, it's not a fact. You don't trade up and go get somebody you're disappointed to draft. Come on. Wow. Come on.
Man. Alan, thanks for joining us again, man.
Wait, I got a new idea for a show, by the way. The Bobby G and Bo Hour.
There we go.
It'd be fun.
I love it. They won't agree the whole time. Alan, who made some good moves, the best moves, 2025 draft? What you got?
I don't like it because it's a team in my division, but the Giants are pulling a page out of Washington's playbook and stacking their defense pretty heavily. Let me read you off these names here. Raheem Nunez-Roches, decent player. Chauncey Golston coming over from Dallas, pretty solid player. Dexter Lawrence, all pro. They drafted
Darius. By the way, we're on the draft.
I know.
We're not on free agency. We're not on free agency.
You drafted Darius Alexander in round 3, but looking at this linebacker core, you've got Okereke, Burns, McFadden. Oh, Abdul Carter. That's nice. I think the Giants. I think the 2 defensive guys that went to New York are going to be in a really good spot because this Giants defense has just got a lot better, in my opinion. Not to mention, you've got Jackson Dart sitting behind 2 veteran guys in Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Say what you want about him, but he's going to at least get to sit and learn. How.
2 ultimate team guys, 2 guys who aren't going to shortchange him on development, who aren't going to go, hey, rookie, what page is this play on? They're not going to play with him. They're
consummate professionals in football.
Yeah. All they got to do is bring some crab legs and practice.
Let's not forget about the crab legs that we're going to bring.
At the same time, though, it's pretty easy to look like you made good moves when you're 53 guys from a 53-man roster.
Oh, my goodness, right? Yeah, every move's a great move when it's like that. God dang.
It's not really true. It's not really true. They had 2 guys, but still.
I think New York, it might be the last time we see Dable and that GM there, but at least they're trying to make amends and trying to make that team better. So I actually do like what the Giants did this draft. Also, let's not forget they also have Cam Scatterboot now, which scares the hell out of me.
Shout out to Bo Scatterboot, my guy. That was my dog. All right, and then I got one. So of course, we all know there are teams that are good, and there are teams that are good for short periods of time, and a lot of times they got to deal with money. For me, one of the teams that are really good or that were really good this past year was the Cincinnati Bengals. And you know what happened with those Cincinnati Bengals, fellas? They paid people. Yeah, they paid wide receivers, though. That's exactly what they did. But somehow, some way, they forgot that they got the number 1 pass rusher 2 years in a row on the roster. So what do? We say, well, we're going to scare him a little bit. We're going to make him think about that number he put on the table. We're going to go ahead and get us some young, fast edge rushers right about now in the draft. And first of all, they came out and got Shamar Stewart. Everybody knows Shamar Stewart was really good. He just had off the field issues. So we're just going to let that one slide. We got Demetrius Knight. Shout out to Demetrius Knight out of South Carolina. One of the guys who transferred just to come out and do his thing at Carolina because of the opportunity that he was going to get. Then somehow, some way, we got Barrett Carter out of Clemson. So we got 2 guys out of the state of South Carolina. I think was a big deal. But in real life, Cincinnati is set up to do whatever it takes to make Uncle Joe Burrow happy. You know what I mean? And we get it. I understand it is what it is. To keep him, you're going to do whatever it takes to make him happy. But one thing's for sure, 2 things for certain. Joe Burrow don't sack no quarterback. Okay? All right. So what are you going to do when Trey Hendrickson wants that money? How are we going to fix that? And I think they addressed that right there in the draft. We got some guys that can put their hands in the dirt. We got a guy that loves to stand up, if depending on where we're going to put him at, because of course, getting adjusted from 4 threes and whatnot. We can figure it out if Trey Hendrickson wants to play dirty and not come to mandatory or not come to I think what we got minicamp starting in a week, 2 weeks. So whatever the case may be, if he decides to play quote unquote ball and doesn't want to be franchise tagged, then hey, we got these young boys out here, man. We're gonna let them go ahead and run and see. But for right now, I think I really like what they did because there's no reason to draft offense in Cincinnati. Why? Because the offense is paid. You know what I'm saying? And then come to find out, part of what was going on in Cincinnati is they didn't have a good running back to rely on. But Taj Brooks out of Texas Tech, Taj Brooks, I forgot. I'm trying to remember where he was before he went to Texas Tech, and he was actually good there.
I think he's actually been in Tech his entire career.
Are you sure? I swear he was somewhere else and he had issues, and now he's played the last 2 years.
Because I know he's been there at least 3 years. I know 1 year he got hurt, and then he came back last year and had a really solid year.
But yeah, I'm down.
There was talks that he could have been in last year's draft.
Yeah, I was. That was one of the things. So yeah, 5'9", 214, running that 4.5. I think, and as a good pass catcher out of the back, y'all know Texas Tech. They love to throw the ball around the field. We can
shout out DJ Khaled real quick.
We the best.
No. DJ Khaled, the GM for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow.
Yeah, because the whole draft was just, we got the best pass rushers in the NFL, but we're gonna draft another one. And another one. And shout out to the Eagles for pulling the Jedi mind trick. We're gonna swap picks with the Kansas City Chiefs so y'all can watch us draft another pass rusher. Now I'm 100% positive that Kansas City was not going to take a lineman there until they saw the Eagles draft another pass rusher to come get Patrick Mahomes.
Another one.
And then they just messed up their whole draft.
Basically line them up. We're gonna send everybody at Patrick in 2020.
Yeah, with Taj Brooks started in 2020 at Texas Tech, so he's been there all 5 years.
He's been there the whole time. We'll give big shouts out to him because I think that's a good fit. Like I said, Texas Tech, they did a lot of shotgun. They did a lot of tossing to him. He can catch and run. I love that idea. That hey, look, we can't find a running back. We're gonna draft one and hope he does well in these later rounds. So, guys, as we move forward, right?
Wait. You know why the Bengals had to get defense, right? It wasn't just because they don't play defense at all, but they have 3 guys on offense with a cap hit of 115. Their entire defense has a cap hit of 79 mil.
Yeah, they once again, money-wise, yes. They if y'all don't want to play, we will get these young boys on the field, okay?
Listen, for us fantasy guys, we want the Bengals to keep drafting these wide receivers and tight ends. So we can draft all Bengals in our teams. That's what
all Bengals.
Yeah. Taj Brooks is going to be good for fantasy purposes.
For sure.
Passes out of the backfield, yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
Gonna be great.
But anyway, as we keep it moving, fellas, we're going to say, what was the biggest splash pick made in this draft? Now,
this is a loaded question.
For me, this is a layup, and I'm going to tell you guys why. So right now, I reside in Jacksonville, Florida, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. When I was watching the draft, ladies and gentlemen, and then all of a sudden I saw those names. I was in the car. Matter of fact, I was in the car driving. And I was listening to ESPN, and they didn't cut off the mic. They was like, what the hell? Jacksonville traded? And then they go, it just came in. Jacksonville just traded the pick for the Cleveland Browns. And I am driving faster to my house. I walked into my house, ladies and gentlemen. My wife screamed, Jacksonville traded the pick. And she don't even know what the hell's going on. So she knew. And then immediately it dawned on me. Travis Hunter's right there. And Travis Hunter was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, possibly to play two positions, one player. I think that's pretty cool. At my job, I've been talking to people pretty much since I got to work on Sunday, Saturday when we were talking about it. And look, man, them Hunter jerseys are all they said was HU, and they are pretty much sold out. I guarantee you, it was they was there, and people have been buying them. So I was extremely excited about that. On the back end, because we're going to talk about our teams in general. I think really somewhere down the line, the Steelers made a decent pick, and I'm going to tell y'all why when we get to the back end. Will Howard, 6'4", 237. Y'all know who else was 6'4", 237 when they was doing the draft? Anybody?
No, I don't.
Hey, it was the MVP. The MVP was 6'4", 237 at the combine. Ran slower than Will Howard. I don't know. The Steelers might have made a good decision. I don't know. So let's go ahead and start at the bottom. Biggest splash, Uncle Scott. Who you got?
Oh, great! I go first. It's got to be Travis Hunter. I think, in my mind, I agree with you. Whit. I think Jacksonville trading up to 2 from 5 to get this kid tells you that Jacksonville is going to use him on offense more so than defense. I believe. You don't trade up and then get Travis Hunter and say, okay, you're going to be cornerback. You don't do that. So they're going to use him like San Francisco used Deebo Samuel, I think, which is a lot of end arounds, a lot of runs in the backfield, out wide, in line. They're just going to use him all over the place. He's going to have a phenomenal rookie year because I think Liam Cohen, the new head coach, is just going to use him everywhere on the field. Yeah, and you're going to have to account for where he is. Mm-hmm. So I think Travis Hunter can help Brian Thomas Jr. And take a lot of pressure off of him just by doing what Deebo does with San Francisco, what he did with San Francisco before he got traded. So I love the move for Jacksonville trading up and getting Travis Hunter. I think it was the splashiest move in the draft, and I think it was a move that was designed to help out that Jacksonville offense immensely. So that'd be the guy I'd say.
Gotcha, man. Champ, you know what I'm saying? I know you got one or two in mind, brother. Go ahead and give them to us.
Biggest splash?
Mm-hmm.
Them doing Baltimore Ravens. Malachi Starks and Mike Green.
Oh, yeah.
You already have a stacked secondary, and you add Malachi Starks. You already have a hell of a pass rush, and you add Mike Green. I mean, you just can't, and you just can't draft much better than that. Another one have to be with James Pierce and Jalen Walker. I think they're going to make a huge splash down there in Atlanta, especially considering that there's no more Grady Jarrett down there to be a space eater for a lot of those guys. So they're going to have to make a huge impact. I think that they will. But overall, I would have to say Malachi Starks and Mike Green. They're gonna make that AFC North feel them this year. They're gonna make an immediate impact, I believe.
Gotcha, for sure. Yeah, Bobby G, impact.
All right.
You see?
Well, Champ and Whit, you're both wrong, and here's why. If you're talking about moves, you're absolutely right. There's no doubt. Jacksonville made the splashiest move by trading up. Mm-hmm. But there's no Travis Hunter was always going to be picking number 2. No matter what team was there. Insert team here, and the pick was going to be Travis Hunter. So there's no splash there. The fact of the matter is, the biggest splash pick was made by the Carolina Panthers when they took T-Mac. That made everybody say, whoa.
Yeah, okay.
Because 99% of people had them going defense. And they come up and take T-Mac to get their young quarterback some help. And I can't blame them. So when you talk about splash moves, splash
picks. Yeah.
There it is. And that's what it has to be. Stephen A.
I could definitely dig it on that one. I could definitely dig it. Uncle Bo, what what jumped out at you, man? Because I know there was a lot going on.
Yeah, so for me, it was the Jags. Them moving up. But the thing that's funny is they do seem like they're going to use them on offense for a team that also needs defense.
Right.
It's one of those where you're like, okay, maybe they're going to do that smart thing where they're going to get the DB, right? And then have packages on offense. But based on everything that's coming out of Jacksonville, he's going to be an offensive player. And it's like, man, you guys need a defense still, right? Like,
I feel like they're gonna do. I think they're gonna give him. They got to give him something. He's got to play slide or something. They got to get him out there a little bit.
Like he'll get some, but he would be better off to be one of their starting corners, and then use him in offensive packages because you still have to account for him, right? Even if he's a decoy, you have to acknowledge the fact that he's on the offensive side of the ball. But they need defense, especially secondary. And so if they're going to primarily use him on the offense, he's not going to survive a season if he's taking 150 snaps a game. That's just not a real expectation.
Right.
So whatever side is his primary focus, it's gadgety stuff on the other side, whether it's offense or defense. And for a team that, offensively, they weren't horrible. Defense, they kind of were. To have a two-way player and then be like, yeah, we're going to use him on the side we're already kind of strong doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So, it was a great splash move, if you will.
Right.
And then they're still going to find a way to not use him correctly.
We fumbled the bag. It's the new regime. We got to give him a little chance. We got to give him a chance.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Then we got Allen, AP. So was there anything that was stand outish to you besides Jacksonville, or was Jacksonville the pick?
I mean, yeah, Jacksonville was the pick, but let's take a look at a couple other teams that I like that I kind of jumped out at me. So Tampa Bay already has a stacked wide receiver room, right? Let's go get Ted Johnson and Emeka Egbuka to help that. Sure, why not? If you're in Chicago, you need to find any piece you can get to help Caleb Williams out. So what do? Let's go get tight end from Michigan. Oh, and also let's go get Luther Burden from Missouri as well. Let's go get you two weapons. So, and I also kind of agree with Bobby as well. Ted McMillan going to Carolina. I think the young quarterbacks, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, definitely helping them stands out. But I'm actually going to go with Tampa Bay because you already add to a stacked wide receiver room. Who knows if we're going to get full Chris Godwin this year, which is why I think they went this route. But if Chris Godwin is healthy, you have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, Emeka Egbuka, and Tez Johnson. Yeah, have fun, NFC South.
Right. Have fun, NFC South. And it's crazy because somehow, some way, we gotta account for another, Baker Mayfield year, as far as what may be brought to the table, especially with how he kind of had led scorched earth last year. But of course, hey, somehow, some way, we always got to run into Patrick Mahomes, and then of course we got Jay. Jay, of course, was definitely eyes on the screen as well as the rest of us were. Jay, your splash pick of the first round, what might it have been, sir? Well, not even the first round of draft, just the whole thing. Uh-oh. Jay, we there?
Yeah, he's on mute right now. Jay,
you're on mute, bro.
I'm looking at the screen. I'm too busy watching the show. I forgot. My bad. I'm coming back to I'm just watching the show like. Oh, yeah. All right. So here we go. Nah, for real, what Bobby said, T-Mac pick hurt my heart. I didn't even want to watch the rest of the draft. I'm going to be honest. I did not want to watch the rest of the draft because I thought maybe when she wasn't. She was going in the top 15, 20, regardless of what I thought. But T-Mac to the Panthers, that was a big splash because just like, you know, said, you know, you would have thought they would go on defense with what, yes, they need some weapons on offense, but I would say the biggest splash or the biggest, it was a funny reaction to me. And Panthers fans just peeing right. Everybody was crying. Like, we wanted the tight end from Penn State. Huh? We wanted the tight end from Penn State. I'm thinking to myself, do you ever in your life, as much as I have banked in on Mike Evans in fantasy football on your team alone? If I told you you get your own Mike Evans, could you see it? No. But to get alone, you want the Penn State tight end. What is the tight end going to do for you when you don't have anything on the outside? I'm just saying, man. You casual fans that don't know nothing about football, just like Carolina just because they're here. Anyway. Yeah, give me T-Mac all day. How about this? You get the Penn State tight end, you trade him to the Commanders. We'll give you whatever you want. But nah, seriously, it's T-Mac. Definitely T-Mac. I will learn his name good enough to say it, his first name. But T-Mac, he was definitely out there like a man amongst boys, man, out there. You know,
Jay, I hate to break your heart. I hate to break your heart, but if he had fallen to 12, Dallas was going to take him.
What? So what?
You would have never saw him. I'm sorry.
You gonna mess it up.
Shout out to Bobby Blunts joining the chat, who sometimes joins us on In the Hoop. Bobby Blunts, what it do? We see you.
Bobby Blunts outside. Hey, sorry for the heat,
man. I want Mel Kiper's job where I can just be wrong nonstop and get paid.
Oh man, 20 years of being wrong too.
Oh, you could put somebody number 1 on your draft board and then they slip it till the 4th round and then that's all you talk about for 4 hours.
No, that's what I'm saying. And he's done this for 20, 30 years. Like let me get in on this. I mean, the only jobs that you can just consistently always be wrong is Mel Kiper and meteorologists. That's it.
you know his favorite quarterback coming out all time was Jimmy Clausen, right?
Wow.
Yeah, he's been pretty high on a lot of dudes that didn't make it. In fact, as I recall, he said he'd retire if he wasn't a star, right? Like years or something.
Alan brought it up earlier.
And yet he didn't retire.
Didn't retire. Still
Alan brought it up earlier. He said Ryan Leaf was going to be a better pro than Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Alan. Yeah, if we could split it 50-50 between
that's what Kiper said.
That's what Kiper said.
No,
that's what Kiper said.
Yeah. I know, but you said that he hasn't been much on a quarterback. Hey, I'm just saying he was very strong.
He also has had 4 guys ranked ahead of Patrick Mahomes. So,
well, I think the thing that makes it hilarious is the fact that he's been wrong so much over so many years, and he was just crashing out hard over Shedeur.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Hold on. We gonna leave Mel Kiper alone. We're gonna leave Mel Kiper alone.
Reese Davis and Louis Riddick were like, no, shut up.
We're gonna leave Mel Kiper alone. When you have hair that beautiful, you are above reproof.
Man,
you look like Mel Kiper look like Braun Strowker's Dracula with that hairdo on.
Oh man,
Mel Kiper and Pat Riley are above reproach. When you have hair that beautiful, you are to be left alone.
Yeah,
well,
Pat,
you know he puts Miracle Grow on his hair every day, right?
You don't even have to say that beautiful. You just have to say have that hair and I'm already out.
Yeah. Listen, it's perfectly coiffed. It's still on its own. And I don't know how it works, but It's there. So as we kind of lean into that, guys, you know what I'm saying? We mentioned it. Mel had Shedeur somewhere locked in at his, I want to say, the second best overall in the draft. So are we going
Nah, it
to
was his first.
disagree?
He's number one. He had him number one.
It was his number one.
Quarterback.
Todd McShay. I'm looking at Todd McShay. Todd McShay has pretty much 1 and 1A with the Cam Ward pick. So as we look at it, guys, was it collusion? What happened? What took place? And I'm gonna throw it out there for those who just might not know. Of course, Deion Sanders must be the money. Y'all remember back in the day, it was said allegedly that Deion went into numerous interviews back in the day at that time, looked owners in the eyes and said, I don't even know why y'all are talking to me because I will not be on the board. Okay. As collusion goes, that is the discussion between multiple individuals to plan the demise of a known entity. That's literally in the book. So the entity being the Sanders family, once again presented with the opportunity to do something to possibly harm that thereof, the nature of Vergo vis-a-vis the son and or the two sons, because remember, it's two of them technically, right? The son in question, the quarterback, goes into the rooms and says, hey guys, you don't even need to talk to me, baby. I'm not even going to be on the board. Sparks that interest again. And then are we getting what is possibly collusion? Or how do we come to the point where he gets drafted in the 5th round? Does anybody have an idea of that?
I'll set the tone. Look, do I think that a lot of GMs took him off their board because of, his father and the hand kind of being overplayed? Yes, I do. I believe that happened. Do I also believe that they looked at him as a ratings draw? Yes. He drew over 7 million viewers each day he wasn't drafted. Each day. So two things can be true. But the thing is, I really thought that, look, I'm not for humble pie. I'm not for it. I'm just going to be real. But the thing is this. A lot of people do not want to see you succeed already. They don't want to see you succeed already. Because you should have saw everybody just cheering to the high heavens to see this young man fail. So everybody did not want to see you succeed already. I think he did not do himself any favors by not going through the processes at the draft. I think he did not do himself any favors about, say he sandbagged interviews and things of that nature. And I don't think Deion did him any favors about saying that I'm going to intervene. Now, we all know that both John Elway's dad and Archie Manning's dad both had say so in where they was going to be drafted. But at that time, they were a part of strong draft classes, and they were the undisputed number 1 pick. Everybody knew that Eli was going number 1. Everybody knew that John Elway was going to go number 1. They're a part of that. But when everybody wants to see you fail, you don't give them a reason in order to see you fail. You go through every single process. So that way they can't say, well, that's the reason why. No, you don't give them that reason. We learned that in school. When everybody wants to see you fail, you go through every process the correct way. And I'm not saying go in there and code switch and do all of that nonsense. I'm saying at least go through the process the correct way. That way, if you're not drafted, they can honestly say, well, it's probably a collusion. But the thing was, not right now, a lot of things can be true, but the thing is, I wish that if he could look back on, if he had a time machine, I wish he would have went through every single process. So that way, if this would have happened, no one could have said anything about how he went through those processes because they're using it against him. But the thing is, I don't think he should have dropped that far. 2nd round max, but 5th, that was kind of crazy. But like I said, when everybody wants to see you fail already, don't get.
Oh,
Shedeur's in there now.
Oh man,
Shedeur shut him. That was it.
But What's up? Well, yeah, we missed that last 2 seconds. Yeah, like maybe the last 3 seconds because you locked up.
I'm locked up.
Yeah, it did. No, you good now. It just froze over the last 3 seconds of your whatever you were saying.
Oh yeah, when everybody wants to see you fail, you have to go through the process a little bit more cleaner than others. Because, like I said, everybody wants to see you fail. It's kind of like, hey, we want to see everybody on the Rec Room Sports podcast fail when we get a $100 million contract. Well, we got to go through that, real smooth and real easy. Otherwise, you're gonna give them what they want. But like I said, we learned that in grade school. When everybody wants to see you fail already, don't give them the reason to point at you and say that's why you failed.
Okay, you're right. You got a point. You got a point. Bo, at the top. What you thinking? What was it? Was it just him and Collusion?
I actually agree with that a lot. Like it's you can't sandbag yourself and then say collusion happened. But him falling as far as he did make some sense, right? Like I thought he was a day 2 guy. I thought he was going to be a second rounder, right? Mm-hmm. But having done that, and then you start to slide, that's where you can continue to slide because he has a little bit of that Cam Newton to him where you think he might be a bigger distraction as a backup, right? And as soon as you're in the 3rd round, you're drafting your backup. Right? You're not drafting your starters typically anymore. Now you're looking at a guy that's going to be backing somebody up. That's usually 3rd round and on, right? That's where you become a project and they're like, okay, you're NFL talent, but not NFL ready. Right. And so with him, there's going to be pressure to get him out there because of the name and all of the craziness that comes with it. So if your starter that's ahead of him starts to, have a bad game or whatever, people are going to clamor for him to get his shot, even if he's not ready. And so there's going to be teams that as he continued to slide would look at that and be like, yeah, maybe he's not on our board anymore. And so I don't think it's collusion. I think it's fit, right? Like you don't want to add chaos in a spot that doesn't need it. Now him sandbagging himself adds to that, right? Like, I think the craziest one was him answering a FaceTime call during an interview. I'm going to go with that one. Probably didn't go well.
Of course.
So it's that kind of stuff that sets you back. But I think more than anything, as you continue to slide, the amount of the rest of everything that comes with him, I think let him continue to slide.
Most definitely. Yeah, Bobby G.
Is this Bobby G or Shannon? Is this Shannon?
No, this is me. I'm about to lose my goddamn mind.
Yeah, Bobby G.
Like literally, the next person out here talk about this unhappy look, I'm gonna blow a gasket. That wasn't the moment he got drafted. Y'all have watched the drafts your whole damn life. The moment somebody gets drafted, what is it? It's a fucking phone call.
I gave you a video.
No, I don't. This is not. But Bo, it's a phone call. They're on the phone talking. That's the moment somebody gets. No, but I'm not talking to you. That's the moment people get drafted. People, they're on the phone talking. They're sitting looking at the screen. It's already passed. The moment has passed. Like stop referencing this foot. Oh, nobody looked happy. Nobody. It had already happened like 20 minutes ago.
Right. Yeah.
To be fair, to Bobby's point, the Browns organization looked like that every pick they made.
Exactly. Right. Like second. All right. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna address this one by one. The trade happened April 7th. Imagine not trading away Travis Hunter. The trade officially happened April 7th, and it was contingent on the Tennessee Titans taking Cam Ward number 1. If the Tennessee Titans would have drafted Abdul with Penn State kid, like I can't even think. They would have drafted Penn State kid, Abdul Carter, thank you. The Browns would have drafted Cam Ward. Is that still insane for passing on Travis Hunter? Their guy was Cam Ward. This trade that happened damn near a month ago. It didn't happen draft day like it went down. It already been discussed. Check all the facts you want on that. That's public. Second, it was collusion, and I'm gonna say it was accidental collusion. I'm not saying like every GM hopped on the phone with each other and said, "Don't." No, but it's just like everybody said. You get to a point where certain things happen, and not just with Shedeur. Talent versus noise. It happens for multiple players. Happens for a lot of people. Now, Bo did extensive coverage. Shout out to him. He did extensive coverage of the college prep leading up to the draft. Here's where my collusion comes into play. All the crap we heard about Shedeur, we didn't hear that in college. What kind of personality issues did he have in 3 years of college? None. 4 years of college? None. How bad of a personality did he have? How pro himself was he? How much did he not care about football? We've heard glowing reviews about him and Travis for the last 4 years about how all they do is care about football. And now all of a sudden, 32 scouts say, well, we don't know. He's a terrible interviewer. So what? You paying a young man to play football. I wonder how many terrible interviewers you got in your locker room already.
So that's only kind of true though. Because you're paying your quarterback to be the face of your franchise.
Exactly. Okay, I'm glad you said that, because you know what? How many allegations did Deshaun have, and how many teams tried to sign him? That wasn't just on Cleveland.
Yeah, Atlanta tried to sign him.
Exactly. We're going to stop that too. We're going to stop that.
Atlanta tried to sign. Can you imagine Deshaun Watson near Magic City?
Oh, boy. Hey,
we'll go right on the other side of the street.
I'm about to Nino Brown this thing. If I'm going down, I'm taking a whole lot of people with me. Hey, Justin Tuck's got some accusations. He been cut yet? And he's a kicker.
I think both those guys should have went to the Raiders. That's the land of the rub and tug. And
yeah.
But I'm just saying. Like, we can go through the myth. Laramie Tunsil smoked weed the night before the draft, got kicked out of the combine. Did he fall to the 5th round? No. Randy Moss, same thing. Did he fall to the 5th round? No. Warren Sapp, same thing. Did he fall to the 5th round? No. We can go on and on and on about these players and their character issues or whatever. And none of them had as drastic of a fall as Shedeur Sanders. Arrogant ass Aaron Rodgers got drafted by a team who had a Hall of Fame quarterback in place. They didn't even need a quarterback. And they didn't let him and this is not saying Shedeur was the best QB in the draft. And I'm glad you keep putting in there. He was a day 2 guy. He was a day 2. You're proving your own point. He was a day 2 guy. Then why didn't he get drafted on day 2, sir?
Well, can I interject, Mr. G?
Go for it.
The thing is, after Cam Ward went, I think a lot of teams are looking over the course of the next 2 years. This next quarterback class that's coming out next year, especially if Archie comes out, it's going to be dire. It's going to be dangerous. With the exception, I would say Carson Beck, unless he proves something to me when he go down there in Miami. But, it's going to be dangerous. And I'm pretty sure a lot of teams were saying, hey, why force something? Why force it? If you really look at the quarterbacks that was taken after Cam Ward, with the exception of Jackson Dart, a lot of those guys are not going to be playing. They're real projects at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them.
Why are we excusing Jackson though?
What's that?
Why are we excusing Jackson?
Well, the thing is, I will say this: I think that Shedeur Sanders is better than Jackson Dart. I will say, because guess what? I'm an SEC guy. I saw him play, but I'm pretty sure the SEC factor played in that in order for them to get him. And you got to take into consideration is he's probably not going to start his first year. He's going to be on a developmental. What the hell? He's going to be.
My question of why are we excusing Jackson is because university is ahead of him.
None of those guys. Yeah, Jackson is not going to be playing this year. He's not going to be playing. Either Jameis Winston or Steve Urkel going to be playing. So you got to think about that for a second.
What? I get it, but I'm saying why are we excusing if Jackson Dart was solidified ahead of Shedeur? That'd be one thing, but he wasn't. So that's why I can't excuse him.
But the thing is, Mr. G, you heard me say personally on this show and on PSP's show, I've said it on plenty of time. Don't be surprised if a team reaches for him. It's that
I said the same thing.
I said don't be surprised. And the thing is, with the New York Giants, when they signed those two guys, you already knew that the quarterback, if they drafted one, wasn't going to play anyway. It wasn't going to play anyway. Now, do I think he's going to be – now, me personally, do I think they would have got a better deal with Shedeur Sanders? Of course. Because the thing is, who can handle scrutiny better than anybody? He's going to be – I mean, he's got so much scrutiny in college all the way at his time at the HBCUs that he would have been able to handle the media. He would have been able to handle everything with all of the scrutiny that would have came at him. But the thing is, they were determined to develop Jackson Dart, and they have done that plenty of times. They did that with the transition from Kurt Warner to Eli Manning. They tried to do that with the transition from Eli Manning to Daniel Jones. It didn't work, but they was able to get a playoff win out of it. But yeah, with the Jackson Dart, you got to add in that SEC factor because they're going to be able. Because first thing they're going to bring up is SEC put in 5 playoff teams. Jackson beat one of them while he was at home. He beat my Georgia Bulldogs in the monsoon mode, and he had one of the top defenses in that league. So that SEC factor does play a role in it.
Yeah, but there's also
versus the Big 12, but they might as well just have me on the defensive side of the ball right now. Not in my because they did not run nowhere.
I don't think the SFL had anything to do with them drafting Dart. It was Joe Judge is down there, Charlie Weiss Jr. is down there, Joe Shane went to Ole Miss. There's tons of Giants Ole Miss connections. That's why Dart was drafted by the Giants because of all those connections. And they put them together, and you knew Dart was going to be the quarterback. The further that Sanders was falling, the more you knew the Giants, their next pick would snap up and get Dart. It's all because of the connections.
I love the way you put that in.
Let me close myself out in these last two. Blunts, and again, Blunt, you know me, don't take shit personal. It's potting. First, yes, if he wasn't a first round, he still had a place. You're saying he was a day 2 guy. Well, he fell to day 3. That's a fall. That's the definition of a fall. Second, saying Cleveland's drafting the QB next year, that is not true. Both
that's straight true.
And Dylan Gabriel have an opportunity this year to make that not happen. So, that's not. If I was you, I would worry less about the Browns and try and turn that heat on in Miami.
Oh my God!
I hear it's cold down there with a temperature of about 55 degrees.
No, man, they're on fire. They got torched.
they got Bobby on Bobby Islands right now. We didn't know this was happening.
About 55 degrees down there in Miami.
Wow,
you know about that?
That was collusion from the Cavs. That was good. That's what that was. They was.
That's all I love, bro.
Yeah, but guys, the whole thing is we're gonna go ahead and let Uncle Bo go. We do appreciate you for hanging out with us for a little while as we continue on to talk about and close out this draft. Thanks again, Bo, for joining us. What you got going on this week, of course?
Man, just always running, man. Like about as busy as you can ever be. But you can find me on my YouTube at Football-Talk, all the socials, Football Talk with Bo, Roku TV 5 days a week. And of course, sometimes I hang out right here.
Hey man, and we appreciate you. And you always got a space, so please feel free to come and join us at any time, man. Thanks again, Bo Cobb. Shout out to all right.
We know where Arch Manning's going next year.
To Dallas.
No.
To a much needed, possibly Arizona team. That's who.
Nope. He's going to New Orleans next year. His dad played for the Saints. He's going to New Orleans. somehow, someway, they're going to get him to New Orleans next year.
Arch, I'm about to say Arch is the nephew. You know that, right? We know Arch is the nephew.
Arch is the nephew.
He's going to Cleveland.
How about you going to Cleveland? Yo,
New Orleans is going to be so bad. They may be like 2-15 next year. They're just going to be really bad.
Hey, Archie himself, the big Archie, he did say that he wanted him to play for the Cowboys. He said that in an interview. So I mean, don't be surprised if he ends up.
He got that relationship with Hadley.
So
if he stays in Texas, we'll definitely see.
The thing with that too is that there was talks that if Shedeur continued to fall, Jerry was going to use one of the picks on Shedeur Sanders.
There were talks. I don't think
because they had seven day 3 picks.
Yeah, Deion
would have called Jerry. Jerry would have been like, "I got you," and he would have drafted him.
7th round. Deion, it's all set. I'm going to take your son in the 7th round, Deion. It's all set. Don't worry.
All right, guys. And to close out the last of the draft segment, because we're getting into that second and a half hour right about now. Let's give our teams a grade for all of our guests. You know, of course, who are you? Which teams are you representing, and how did your team do in the draft? Don't got to be long. We just got to go ahead and get it on out the way. Uncle Scott, you can go ahead and start it off right there at the bottom. Who are you? Who's your team? And how did your team do in the draft?
Hello, my name is Scott Coe. My team is the Dallas Cowboys.
Hi, Scott.
Like they have a problem. I'm the Patriots fan. I think the Patriots did a tremendous job. I give them an A-. I think they got some nice playmakers in Trevion Henderson, Kyle Williams. They got their guy in Will Campbell in the 1st round, who I love his attitude. He said he would die to keep Drake May in the pocket and safe.
Yeah, I love what he said, man. He got up there and cried and everything.
Yeah. I think when there's where you see when a guy knows what he's doing and is in charge and makes good draft picks, a draft is great. And sure enough, the top 3 picks, Kyle Williams, Trevion Henderson, Will Campbell. I mean, that set your team up right there. You got explosion all over the field now, what you didn't have last year. Not saying they're going to get in the playoffs, not saying they're going to win 10 games, but they're going to be much, much better than last year. So I give them an A-.
I like it, man. A- for the Patriots. Let's go ahead, man. We got AP, Mr. Allen. Your team, we know. Come on and give us a grade.
How'd the Eagles do, Allen?
Wow.
I don't
Carlos.
know them right though.
What's up, Carlos?
I mean, obviously, we joke about it all the time. I'm a Cowboys fan, so in all honesty, I wasn't hyped about it at first, but after looking at it, looking at our roster, looking what we needed, looking at the guys we brought in, I would say anywhere from an A-, B+, around that range. You definitely you addressed your biggest need, and that was replacing Zach Martin at right guard with the 3rd offensive lineman, first name Tyler. So now you have 3 of them. Have fun with that, by the way. You also added edge rusher, Boston College. Scott, you probably know him very well.
I do.
Definitely could be a great asset to Mike in that defensive line. You add yet another cornerback to an already stacked cornerback room. You actually drafted a running back, 2 of them in this draft. As somebody who's seen Jaden Blue more times than he cares to admit, being a Sooner fan too, I think that was a good pick. Overall, A-, B+. I think for what it was, I know they didn't draft a wide receiver. I know they got a couple of good ones undrafted, but for what it was, I'll say A-, B+ for the Cowboys.
A-, B+ for the Cowboys. I got you.
By the way, before the next person goes, the Nuggets just beat the Clippers by 16. So,
sheesh. Damn. Oh man, Bobby G, your team, your grade, and who are you, bro?
I mean, I'm the tribal chief of the podcast world. First of all, it's the land, baby. Gotta be a homer, man. I give us a A+. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was skeptical of the trade when it happened, but now that time passed and I get out of had some time to digest. There were four blue chip prospects in this draft. We got one of them. Not only that, we gained a second first round pick for next year's draft, which is supposed to be loaded again. Mm-hmm. I love the selection at running. I love Judkins at running back. It definitely feels the need. We are better when we have a running game. I feel the underrated pick is Fanek, tight end out of Bowling Green. I feel it's a super underrated pick. I feel he pairs well with David Njoku. And of course, I mean, obviously, you all know our quarterback situation, but when you can get a top 30 talent at 144,
hey,
that in itself makes it an A+. And I mean, regardless of what you think of him and what he may do, he has an opportunity to write his own history. Like I said, he determines what we do with that 2026 pick. If he does what a lot of people don't believe he can do, we'll be set to load some more talent around him next season. And if he can't, we can easily move on. So, And I
want to personally introduce you, Bobby, to a young man by the name of let's see if I can find it. Keyshawn Toney. That's right, Mr. Keyshawn Toney is the all MEAC tight end right out of my little hometown of Orangeburg, South Carolina. He attended South Carolina State University.
UDFA.
Cleveland Browns got him going to minicamp, bro.
Yeah, UDFA. Yeah, I think we had a couple of decent UDFA pickups, but Blunt's he needs some work. I think he could potentially have a fumbling problem. I don't like the way he carries the ball. He never switches ball hands when he runs. If you watch him, the ball stays constantly to the inside. And playing in our division, Marlon Humphrey and ball hawks like that, Minka, they'll pop that thing out every time. So I mean, he's got some work to do. He's got some work to do.
That Gabriel can be a solid backup if he stays healthy.
Yeah, I mean,
he showed up in a lot of big games over his college career. So,
like I say, we said the competition is going to be fun to watch.
Definitely. Big champ. When it comes to those dirty birds, man. Of course, who are you? Who's your team? And what grade did you give them?
Hey, I am the undisputed world champ. Thank y'all for inviting me. Number one, always a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor. And look, them dirty birds got an A+ for me. You got two great pass rushers, number one. You got James Pierce and you got Jalen Walker. Atlanta fans have been complaining for the longest. I've made an in-depth video that went viral on TikTok in regards to this. I kept complaining. This is the first University of Georgia player that has been drafted in the first or second round by my Atlanta Falcons since 1966. That's how long it's been since we have drafted a UGA player in the first or the second round. So for you to get a Jalen Walker, not to mention James Pierce, then you go back in the third round. Then you get Xavier Watts, an All-American safety to pair along with a Defensive Player of the Year candidate like a Jesse Bates. And you already have AJ Terrell on the opposite side, who is an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler. It might get uglier than the Master P sneakers for the NFC. It might get ugly. So I'm going to just say
that. Not uglier than the Master P sneakers.
Not the Master P sneakers.
I mean, everybody remember how ugly them shoes were.
The Manyatis. I know. I haven't seen them Manyatis. Them Manyatis be sitting around. But to get those. But shout out to Master P, man. We'll definitely swap it out. And then, of course, for me, right? The resident Steelers fan. Yes. I personally am Whitfield, your boy K. Rich, my number one draft pick. And yes, I am a Steelers fan, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and keep it funky. I have to give us a B+ because, of course, we didn't go get the sexy pick. We didn't go get Jackson Dart. We didn't go get Shedeur. We didn't reach. But we did Steelers-like things in the draft. We did very much Steelers-like things. For me, Derek Harmon out of Oregon. Yes, I like it. When you talk about what happened with us on January the 15th, I think, January the 12th this year, The Ravens rushed for 299 yards. Derrick Henry had 186 of them yards. So we need people to stop the run. I don't care what else is going on. I need somebody to tackle a big body coming out of the Ravens backfield, and his name is King Derrick Henry. Then, to be real with you, we didn't have a second round pick, but I like Caleb Johnson. I think this was a steal. Caleb Johnson in Iowa, I want to say he had like 2,000 and some change in like his college career. Ran like a sneaky 4.5. I think he did better at his pro day. It was like, okay, we know we don't have a running back room like we used to with Jaylen Warren, but let's put him with somebody that'll be good to pair him with on the back end. And then, of course, as we get further into it, I was excited to look at the news as the drafts were going because I wasn't sitting in the house at the time. But when we got to Yaya Black out of Iowa, that was another one. And it's really YA, which nobody knew how to say at first, but don't ask me. But then, of course, Will Howard and then Captain Jack Sawyer. Two guys off of the championship-winning Ohio State football team that made a difference on both the offensive and defensive side. Pretty much that team, two of their team captains. I think that is right there where you get some character guys. And this is it. This is my thing. And I'm gonna give it to everybody right here live on TV. I'm gonna give me a solo real quick. So just imagine everybody, every analyst, everybody who's a known, insider in the NFL said two things. One, Aaron Rodgers had a great visit with the New York Giants. The New York Giants let them know that they were considering drafting a quarterback in the first round. Aaron Rodgers goes particularly and names several things that he does and does not want if he's interested in a team. The Giants shook his hand, let him go, even though they had a great interview with Brian Daboll. Aaron Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh and lays the law down. He does the Jedi mind trick. This is the Jedi mind trick. Y'all ready for it? He goes and lists off things in which he will not do or where he will not go if teams do these things, such as draft a young, brash, irrationally thinking he's already made it quarterback in the first round in which he'll have to watch his back for. Somebody he won't necessarily want to tutor, right? He won't want to give him the game like he will because this young, brash quarterback may or may not be somebody who feels as though his legacy is inherent. Aaron looks them in the eye and says, but if you're a man of your word, like I know you are, Coach Tomlin, if you're a man of your word, or a team of your word, like I know you are, Rooney's, then you can respect my wishes. I don't have a timeline right now. I can't tell you when I'll show up. But if you don't have the quarterback room include this type of player, which obviously these things directly describe one person in particular, then I can almost guarantee you that I'm going to keep you at the top of my list. They shook hands. Aaron Rodgers does the Jedi mind tricks, looks him in the eye. Nobody says yes, nobody says no, but he walks away. The Steelers don't draft a quarterback in the first four picks, because they were thinking about Aaron coming back and they want to be a man of their word. I still have faith in the idea that Aaron Rodgers will pick going to the Pittsburgh Steelers and being the starting quarterback. Yes, week one, Mason Rudolph may be thinking, we got him, what is it, not a Sharpie, but dry erase board. On that dry erase board right now, it does say Mason Rudolph at 1. On that dry erase board, it may say Will Howard at 2. But in black permanent marker, they are ready to put in Aaron Rodgers. And that is my opinion. I think in reality, in South Carolina, where we are from, where I'm from, Jay's from, a handshake means a lot. And I think to Aaron Rodgers, they shook his hand, and I think they're going to stick with whatever they agreed to. And it's not on paper. Don't quote me on this now because it ain't on paper. But I think they shook his hand, and in the end, we'll see what Aaron does. It'll be a Pat McAfee show. But anyway, guys, we're getting too close to the end of the show. I want to go ahead and say thank you to Champ for hanging out with us. rocking out for the show, man. And Champ, man, once again, what you got going on for this week, my brother?
Gotta go. You'll catch me on Friday on the Sports PSP podcast. Shout out to Sports PSP. He's now at 105,000 on YouTube. So hell of a job. Congratulations to Sports PSP. Hey, been fun along the way, man. So I'm darn proud of you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And you'll see me on my show on Saturday at on the Undisputed GOAT podcast. Shout out to Flash and BRF Sports. We're almost at 150. Not 150,000, 150, but that's still good nevertheless.
Hey, where we started, baby.
Yeah, everybody starts somewhere, and I'm just grateful to be a part of the process. And thank you guys. It's always a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And like I always tell everybody, it's when people stop inviting you to the house that you have a problem.
Hey, word up, son. We always appreciate you with the great analysis as well, man. So, Champ, we're going to be looking forward to seeing you on Sports PSP. PSP need to holler at us, man. We need to do a little joint show one of these days. Get you and him. Peace out, bro. All right, so guys, we've reached the end of the show, and this is where we do the fun thing that we always do. Normally, we give it to Bobby G, right? But this time, we're gonna throw it to me. A little slice of life, right? A little slice of life. So, this past weekend, fellas, man, and I'm gonna talk to everybody. Everybody can be in on this. So just give me a minute. The main thing is, gentlemen, two things happened that I think we should pay attention as men, right? The draft took place, right? Somewhere in there, people's sons completed the arc, not even completed, but pretty much reached the precipice of the arc, which is being an athlete. You know what I mean? The completion of doing years of hard work with your father or your mother, pushing you, taking you to practice, making you do the best you can, pushing you even when you couldn't, you think you couldn't, inspiring you, so on and so forth. And now they reached the NFL draft. That was the big deal. For me, one of the other pictures that took place in that same gallery, so to speak, of pictures that were, just beautiful pictures of young men, who are going to change a lot of their families' lives for now and for the future, was the Sanders family, And I'm gonna be honest with you. Of course, the first picture, right, is that of Shedeur. If you use your mind, the first picture is that of Shedeur and the stage they had set up, and they had a background, and he had a rack of hats, and he had his chain on, and he had a thing. He was ready to go. If y'all saw the prank call, he had a whole line ready. He was going to say, "Let's be legendary," so he can have it filmed, and it was ready to go. And his father, Deion Sanders, the prime time, the Hall of Famer, was right there next to him. Right? Nobody said nothing about Shiloh, but Shiloh is the other kid whose dream should be fulfilled as well. Deion didn't leave either one of them. Now, of course, Shiloh did, relinquish Dad his duties of being an agent and got with Drew Rosenhaus. But in the end, Deion was there the entire time. That was not a picture of a loss. That is a picture of a win, ladies and gentlemen. That's a win. A father got to see his son get drafted. Not just one son, but two sons. That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Somehow, some way, everybody said or was talking about him going in the 5th round. No, man. I saw my little boy do something I never thought I'd see him do. Or he thought he never would see himself do. Even though they're in Sanders, that's a tough thing right there. And so on and so forth with the other families. So even though we may be looking at it in the sense of wins and losses, that was a win for everybody who got their name called and every phone that rang when the draft was over that said, "Hey, we're going to invite you to minicamp." This is a celebration of wins that we witnessed, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you take it how I do because I got children. And luckily I have boys. You know what I'm saying? And I got a little girl too. But of course, I'm gonna look at the little boys differently as I raise them up. I know Bobby G, you got some kids. Alan, you young. You'll want to have kids one day. Uncle Scott, you either somebody's uncle or somebody's father. I know that. Somehow, some way, seeing that type of picture in your mind's eye has to inspire you, right? And then on the flip side, I saw something else that was great this weekend. I watched the Chris Eubanks Conor Benn fight. And if anybody knows anything about boxing or the UK, Conor Benn Conor Benn's father, and Chris Eubanks Sr. Great fights happened in the early in the mid 90s, and they did it more than once, ladies and gentlemen. And somewhere in there, they both produced young men who got to be standing toe to toe against each other in Wembley Stadium. Now, in the end, Chris Eubanks Sr. and Chris Eubanks Jr. had an issue. They fell out. Senior didn't like what Junior did, smacking the eggs on people's head. He thinks it's disrespectful. But guess what happened, y'all? Daddy showed up to the fight to watch his son take on his rival's son, man. And then they stood in the ring toe to toe. And at the end of the day, they all hugged. They all reached the precipice of their careers. You know what I'm saying? I think, and I'm mentally getting emotional about it because I want to see my kids do something great too. This was a weekend for the fathers, man. Straight up. Mother's Day is around the corner. I know that. But this was a weekend for the fathers. If you ever get the opportunity to be one, take advantage of it. Because I ain't gonna lie, I am in the middle of it right now, and I am actually getting ready to have. I'm blessed to have another son in about 3 weeks. And with that being said, I'm going to have to step away from Rec Room for a short period of time in order to make sure I give it my all. And it hurts to a degree because Rec Room is almost like my child too. I technically made it with Jay, but we're not going to get into semantics. But you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, y'all, I feel it's some type of way to leave one child and take care of another. But that's what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I got to do. And we want everyone who is involved with us here on the show to take heed to these moments because they come few and far between. You know, we get a draft every year. We get fights every year. But somehow, some way, when you got time for your family to succeed, I want y'all to take up on that. You ain't got to tell me nothing. Go do it. Bobby G says, yo, my son got football practice, homework, whatever. I'm out. Go do it. Uncle Scott goes, yo, I've been coaching for 30 years. I know he's been involved with kids his whole career. Go do it. Jay has a daughter. He's involved with her. Go do it. And that same boat, I can't be me if I don't follow my own damn advice. So I love everybody. I appreciate everybody who's been rocking with us thus far. We will continue. The show will go on. I'm just going to take a little hiatus. Just a little hiatus. I'm going to pop in on the comments. I'm going to come in on the NBA Finals. I got a Celtics robe I want to wear one of these days. I'm going to come on the show. But for now, I'm going to leave it in some good hands. Everybody's got uncles and godfathers, hopefully. And I'm passing it on to the godfathers for a little while. So once again, this weekend was not a loss for any of those young men. Not for Conor Benn, not for Chris Eubanks, not for Shedeur or Shiloh or Dion Jr., who ain't even in the picture. He's the one with the camera. He's making millions of dollars filming his brothers. I can't. What? Loss? 5th round? He should feel bad? No, he shouldn't, man. My daddy just watched me do something great. Think about it that way. And that's me for the slice of life. You know? Straight up. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I appreciate everybody. We had a great show. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Bobby G. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Alan. Everybody, if you got the opportunity, call your daddy. Straight up. If you can't call him, and if you can't call him, think about him. Straight up. You missed the point, Alan. Even if
I get what you're saying, but
not a good person, think about it. You know,
call Tyrone, Alan. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, we appreciate it, man. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, fight of the year, most definitely. I will, and I'm going to do the same rant on Wednesday. Bobby, don't worry about it. Same rant with Vikings once again. But hey, we appreciate you. So for Jay, for Bobby, for Scott, for Alan, for who else came on the show? For Kev, for Bo, Champ. I'm thinking, hoping I'm not forgetting anybody. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you once again for rocking with us on Rec Room. We hope to see you soon. We will be back. They ain't going nowhere. It's just going to be without me for a little while. Peace and love, y'all. Thank you again.